taking the online race broadcast performance to the next level. This is the Full Velocity Network.
Let's go for a ride. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Full Velocity Network, live here tonight at the Michigan International Speedway, race number 23 for the Sim Racing Association flagship 711 Super Truck Series. Can't believe 23 races into this season. A lot of great things to get to as we wind down the regular season. 4 races to go before they set the Super Chase grid for this field, and we'll update all that and the happenings here as we get going here this evening on FVN. Good evening out there, everybody in YouTube land. My name is Phil LaCasse, along with Todd Stanton, Mr. DeJet Joe Allen, down in the FVN control booth, rather. Stumbled over myself here on the open. But, guys, an awesome field of trucks here on hand. Some of the best of the bestest NR2-on3 communities got to offer here, Todd. They're all on hand here tonight. Heavy hitters up and down the list.
Yeah, definitely a lot of heavy hitters up and down the list, including last time we were here, we visited the Michigan International Speedway. David Schildhouse won this event, so he's looking for a sweep this weekend. You also got your normals like Derek Justice, Justin Morello, Frank Gibbons, a contender. Kevin McAdams making an appearance here in the 711 Truck Series. Look out for him. Alan Lewis, Brandon Lawson, Corey Carpenter, Grant Wesley. You can't, this list goes on and on and on. Great drivers throughout it. And I know I missed quite a few of these guys on this list, though, Phil. But any one of these guys probably could win here in Michigan.
Oh, man, we're stacked with close to 30 drivers here tonight that enter the pit area for 80 laps around this Michigan International Raceway. The Fenton Machine Shop 160 here tonight in Michigan. Thanks to Maverick Morrow for stepping up with the sponsorship for the Machine Shop. But, Joe, we get an awesome field of trucks here on hand, and always cool to come back over to the 711 Series. Been a little while, but great to catch up and see what these guys are up to.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to get this thing going with these guys. They've been known to put on wonderful displays of racing, and we're coming to a fast track Michigan that depends on draft and everything else with it. So anywhere you go, anybody says that Michigan usually puts on good racing, and I think we're definitely going to be in for an exciting and fun race this evening, guys. So it's going to be a good show.
Out getting ready for the show, getting prepared for the show here this evening, Michigan International Speedway. We're going to throw a trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
And with that, we get started here live tonight on the Full Velocity Network, the SRA 711 Super Truck Series, the Fenton Machine Shop 160 at the Michigan International Speedway. Todd Stanton, an awesome field on hand. Let's dive straight into tonight's starting lineup.
And now the starting lineup for the Michigan International Speedway, starting on the pole. Driving the number 31, that's Derek Justice, his dancing partner to the outside. Driving the number 53, that's Justin Morello.
Coming in from row number 2 tonight, third starting position, the Extreme Motorsports Machine, the number 9, that'll be Frank Divins, and to his outside, aboard the 81, we welcome to Full Velocity Network, that's Tony Reiner.
Inside row number 3, starting that 5th starting position, driving the 088, that's Greg Lavelle. And outside of him, driving the number 46, that's Kevin McAdams.
Row number 4, a couple of heavy hitters here from the inside. Starting off in the 7th spot in the number 36, that is Taylor Morganson. To his outside, aboard the 121, that is Steve Looney.
Starting in that 9th starting position, driving the number 4, familiar number to Phil up here in the broadcast booth, that is GT Irizarry. And his dancing partner to the outside, that's the G-Man, driving the number 51, that's Alan Lewis.
Point leader will roll off tonight from the 11th starting position aboard truck number 40. That is Brandon Lawson. And to his outside in the number 30, that is Corey Carpenter.
Starting in most generally unlucky number 13, driving the number 26, as Grant Wesley. And outside him, driving the number 7, that's the champ, that's David Schildhouse.
Jeffrey McClintock will roll off tonight from the 15th position. And Noah Hart will roll off 16th. Let's start trackside.
Let's get it started. Drivers, start your engine!
Starting at 17th starting position, driving the 166, that's Blake McCandless. And outside him, driving the number 93, that's Rick Johnson.
Rolling off from deep in the field tonight, 19th starting position aboard truck number 86. That'll be Jim Black. And to his outside aboard the 88, Roll Tide. That's our buddy Craig Meyer.
Starting at 21st starting position, driving the number 23, that's Corey Williams. And outside of him in the 22nd starting position, driving the number 16, that's racing Jason Justice.
Rolling off tonight from the 23rd position aboard the 87, that'll be Daniel Williams. And to his outside in the 388, welcome back to Full Velocity, that's Dan Lovell.
Starting at 25th starting position, that's the Bobby, driving the number 1, that's Bobby Farrell. And SRA Super Speedway winner here last Friday night, driving the number 37, that's Doug Lockrow.
Rounding out the field tonight, shotgun on the grid. Deep in the field, we find the number 57. That'll be Maverick Morrow. Into his outside 28 starter. Another heavy hitter from deep in the field. That's the 15 of Matt Watkins. Noah Carmichael will roll off 29th tonight. That'll be your full field rundown. 29 trucks strong here, Todd, to take the green flag. 80 laps around the Michigan International Speedway. The field in working their way through turns number 3 and 4, about to get under the green flag. What do you think we can expect to see here through these opening laps? We know Michigan, it's always a fast racetrack, and we got trucks here tonight, so draft is going to play a big role. We may see a lot of draft racing here. You may see some tandem drafting before this thing is done.
Yeah, definitely going to see some tandem drafting before this thing gets done. Getting ready to go green flag racing here at the Michigan International Speedway. Getting Malolo and Justice the front row. Green flag's in the air. Loud pedal is down. We're racing here for the first green flag laps here at the Michigan International Speedway.
Now, keep in mind, these guys raced here about a few months ago. One caution flag here the last time this series came to Michigan, so can they duplicate that tonight? It is going to be an awesome feat if they can. The field working its way through turns number 1 and 2 for the first time. Derek Justice, our pole sitter, drop kicked up to the outside lane. Frank Divens with the power move from the 3rd spot, Todd. He's going to take that extreme machine to the race lead for the first time in turn 3.
Yeah, them Extreme Motorsports, the duo up there, I should say, that were working on the bottom side. That's Frank Divens in that number 9. The 088 of Greg Lavelle. Now Lavelle down to the bottom side. He's going to fight side by side with Frank Divens to try to lead the first lap here to Michigan International Speedway. Who's going to be here at the line for the first lap? Looks like it's going to be scored Frank Divens at the line leading the first lap here. Greg Lavelle now able to get the pinch down and the dive down into the corner. Looks like he's going to take over the lead from Frank Divens.
Yeah, looks like put that 088 of Greg Lovell up to the race lead. The battle going to be for that 2nd spot. How about the run through the opening laps for Taylor Morgan's at 36? He's going to try to pull up alongside the 9. Draft in the outside lane, Todd. Do you see the outside start pulling back? The 31 of Justice comes back strong. Also the 46 of Kevin McAdams, a strange number for that Pepsi machine, but he's up in the top 5. He's going to look to the low side off of turn 4.
Yeah, definitely going to look down to the low side. Just a little bit of a interesting tidbit here in the SRA 711 Truck Series, the Super Truck Series. If you do not make a qualifying lap, and we were noted that Noah Carmichael did not make a qualifying lap, you start from pit road, and he's able to exit pit road now. So Noah Carmichael already behind the 8 ball early on in the going.
Now he certainly is going to start off 1 lap in a rear, so he'll be looking for an early caution flag, see if he can't get back in a lead lap. But these guys, 2 by 2 by 2, about 6 or 7 rows deep as they hit turn number 3. Our XLM pole sitter tonight, Derek Justice, hats off to Extreme Motorsports, all the great awards they give out for this series, the Half.com award. We'll cover all these awesome awards as, Jason Justice, as always, the head admin of the series, gives us a ton of information to read off, and we'll certainly do so over the course of this 160-mile race. But the field into turn number 1, it's Taylor Morgan's Todd. He has swept his way up to the race lead. Great battle behind him for that second spot. McAdams down low, Lovell up high. They're split 2 and almost 3 wide off of turn 2.
Yeah, McAdams trying to work over the bottom side, but the extreme pair there, the duo up there, working on the top side, keeping McAdams at bay here just momentarily. McAdams not going to be a guy you're going to be able to keep at bay for very long. McAdams makes some pretty good moves through the field. He's just biding his time. It's early on in the going, but here comes the number 40 machine. Look at the 40. That's Brandon Lawson. He's inside the top 5 now, Phil.
Yeah, Brandon Lawson has picked his way forward. Brandon coming in as tonight's series point leader, 75 markers up on second place. Jason Justice. Brandon, a 3-time winner this season. 3 wins for Brandon Lawson, tied for the series. Not tied for the series lead, I believe, with Maverick Morrow. Well, let me check that. David Schildhouse leads the series, but 4 wins. David joined late, but he's been on a tear here recently. But Brandon Lawson, as you said, the 40, he started outside the top 10. He's charged all the way up into the top 5. He's trying to look forward there, Todd. They're all chasing Taylor Morgan's now off of turn 4.
Yeah, Morgan's in that number 36 machine, that Pez-sponsored machine, trying to break away and hide. Now it looks like McAdams making a run down on the bottom side. He's going to make his way around Lavelle. Also the 40 of Lawson. Here comes the 166 of Blake McCandless, 3 wide into corner number 1.
3 wide, the 166 of Blake McCandless swings it down to the low side. It's going to drop kick Greg Lovell out of line there. Move the 166 forward. That's going to be a drag race for that 3rd spot between McCandless and Brandon Lawson. The outside lane really working really well here through these opening laps here, Todd. But I'm going to pose the question to Joe about this high line. Joe, every time you come to Michigan, especially the trucks, it kind of almost plays out like a super speedway, if you will. And how much of a key, we know the draft is going to play a big role, but how much do you think the momentum at a place like Michigan with these high speeds, how much is that high lane going to play into these guys' hands? Is that going to be the preferred line only?
I think definitely you're going to want to look at the high line down the straightaways. That's where you're going to be able to carry a lot of your momentum. On newer tires, you're definitely going to see guys that are going to be more dominant down on the bottom through the corners, and that's just how Michigan has characteristically always been. But I think you're definitely going to look towards the high line down the straightaway, and you're going to have to time your runs really well. As I say that, it looks like we're under caution here, guys, so I'm going to throw it back up to you guys in the booth while I start getting to work down here.
All right, we'll put Joe to work tonight with the first full velocity replay here. Caution flag number 1 of the night. Trying to see where that may have taken place, where that happened. I believe, Todd, in my ear, they're saying that may have been the 81 machine. So we'll have to confirm that. That may be issues with the Tony Reiner machine. Had a great run, qualified inside the top 5. First trip out for that 81. We'll have to see what happened. But, through these first 7 laps under green, Todd, awesome racing here in Michigan, just as I think we all expected it to be.
Yeah, definitely been some good racing. Like you said, it's the first 7 laps. Green flag racing here, the Michigan International Speedway. These guys have been minding their P's and Q's from the last race that we were here. I'm sure they had an awesome drivers meeting going on down through there of the last couple of times that they've been on the Full Velocity Network. I'm telling you, Phil, that some of these guys, when they're in that spotlight, they get a little crazy. They get a little nuts.
Well, it certainly comes with all the anticipation of one of these broadcast races, just like we have here tonight with this Fenton Machine Shop 160 here at Michigan. Joe Allen busy at work down there with the Full Velocity replay. And so, Joe, for the first time tonight, show us what happened here. Put us on a caution flag.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to kick ourselves back over to our live race replay here. We're going to throw this thing in nice slow motion. We're going to focus our attention on the number 81 machine. Coming off of turn 2 here. Throw this thing in slow-mo for you guys. Comes off of turn 2 here. Gets up close to the wall off the corner. Doesn't make complete contact, but it sucks him around. The air off the rear of that spoiler against the wall there sucks him around. Down in front of, I believe, the 17 of Jeffrey McClintock. That's who that looks like. Don't know if there's any contact between the 17 or the 81 or not, but just enough to send the 81 to try and overcorrect. Back up into the wall. Down into the 93. That's Rick Johnson, unfortunately. Huge miss by the number 26 going by there. So unfortunately, it looks like the 81 just a little bit of trouble there off of turn 2. Huge contact in the back of the field. I think that's the 86 machine of Jim Black. just comes in there real late and just clobbers that number 81 off of turn 2, guys. So a little bit of contact there to get this whole thing going, but it looks like the 81 just got loose off of turn 2, and that's what brought out this first caution of the evening here. So back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, it also looks like he may have tagged the outside wall just a little bit, maybe scrubbed off that speed just enough to make that contact with the 86 of Jim Black happen. Tough to tell there. It happened so quick at a place like Michigan under these high speeds there, Todd. But it's great racing. You know, the 81, hopefully no worse to wear. He'll get that thing sorted out, but certainly a tough break for Jim Black. Looks like damage to the 86 terminal. Looks like the 86 behind the wall, and tough night for Jim Black. Looks like his evening is going to be all done early.
Yeah, tough break, like you said, Phil, for Jim Black. Evening done here early for the number 86 machine. Not the start that he wanted here, Michigan International Speedway. No, Jim Black was looking forward to racing here tonight. We're gonna have to wait and see who he's gonna root on to. Maybe he'll join the chat box. Maybe we can ask him a little bit in the chat box about Jim Black and see how he does.
All right, so just recapping, guys, under the caution flag for the first time tonight. Looks like it may be here an extended caution flag as a couple of trucks are one lap down to the field. But we got to talk about, this great series, the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. All the great awards put up there by Frank Divins. All the guys at Extreme Motorsports do a fantastic job here. Of course, the XLM Pole Award tonight, given to our pole sitter, Derek Justice. Also, the Extreme Motorsports Half.com Halfway Challenge Award goes to the leader of the halfway mark. The Insomniac Sherman Williams Fastest Lap of the Race Award will be awarded tonight at the end of this race. The Blog Dreams GFX Lap Leader Award goes to the driver who leads the most laps. The Advanced Carpentry Hard Charger Award awarded to the driver who gains the most positions in the race. Also, to round it out, the Goodies Extreme Headache Powers Award awarded to the driver who had the worst luck in the race. So, all these great awards, all sponsored by Extreme Motorsports, and proud sponsor of the SRA 711 Super Truck Series Power Rankings. And I'm going to try to pull those up here in a little bit there, Todd. But hats off to Frank, all the work he does from Extreme Motorsports, all the support he gives to these guys at SRA, night after night, week after week. He steps up big for this series in a big way, and thrilled to have Frank and all the guys at Extreme here tonight. And good to see a lot of them on the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely good to see a lot of those guys out there on the racetrack, tooling along and out there for good competition. And Frank Divins has led early on in the going. Just looking at some of these guys, and some of their positions of where the highest finishes are, the lowest, where the highest position was. You got the lowest position and currently where some of these guys are running. Fastest lap of the race so far is set by the number 7 of, I think, the number 7 of Dave Schildhouse. David Schildhouse, the 39.632, I believe, was the fastest lap of the race, and that's what I got here. Is that right now he currently holds on to the fastest lap of the race. That's going to change, though, Phil. I'm pretty sure of it. As soon as you get some of the draft and get a little bit of sniff on your nose, that changes quite a bit when that draft comes into factor.
No, it certainly does. Plays into a role, absolutely. And we'll talk about that here as we get rolling on, but. Just getting some correspondence from the 86 of Jim Black. Everything looking like A-OK on his end. A little bit of damage putting him behind the wall. We're going to see if we can't catch up with Jim here real quick before we get back to green flag racing. Just real quick, put Jim in the spotlight. Unfortunately, he's going to get, as we call it, the interview of shame here tonight. Let's see if we can't talk to the 86. Jim Black, Phil LeCasse, some Full Velocity, buddy. You have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Jim, you're having a decent run out there, running mid-pack, caught up and just, looks like the 81 may have gotten to the outside wall. Nothing really you could do in that situation. Tough break for you, man. But through these first couple of laps, look like the racing is going to be outstanding. What'd you see out there from the cockpit?
Oh, it definitely looks like it's going to be super good. I mean, yeah, that happened. The 81 was sitting there. I never seen him in time, and it just destroyed the motor. But, hey, it's all in fun.
So what do you think we're going to see here through these next 70 laps? Are we going to see the inside lane prevail? Is there going to be more speed in the outside lane? What do you think there from the driver's seat? Where do you think the grip's going to be?
Well, they're saying the inside's going to be the ticket, but some of them are saying they think the middle to the top might be the story towards the end. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we certainly will. Well, Jim, thanks for a couple of minutes here to catch up with us. I know this thing's getting back to green flag racing, but tough to see you out so early, my friend. Well, I got you here for a minute. Give a shout out to all your friends and fans and your sponsors out there. Say hello to everybody.
Yeah, I wish everybody's having fun and enjoying the race, and especially with the good job you guys are doing now, coming forward and making your organization. I hope everything goes good with you guys. And like I said, fans, hang on. You're going to see a good race.
Well, we're hoping so. Well, that's our buddy Jim Blackpod. Tough to see the 86 out of the field so soon. Jim's been at it for a long time. One of the better guys who've come across to this community. Too bad to see him out of this event so soon as green flag racing is resumed.
Yeah, green flag racing has resumed. The 36 of Taylor Morgan still at the helm. Derek Justice was up there in a 3-wide battle between the 40, the 166 of Blake McCandless. McCandless now up to that second spot, but the 40 machine of Brandon Lawson, he's running third. Now trying to look around the number 166 of Blake McCandless, not able to pull off anything there through the corner. Another car on the move, another truck on the move, I should say. There's no cars out there on the speedway. But the 51 of Alan Lewis. Lewis was down momentarily, down to the low side of the 31 of Derek Justice, not able to pull off a pass. But look for Alan Lewis to try to get around and make a challenge for this lead. Here comes Corey Carpenter, the 16 of Jason Justice. Now we're 3 wide, coming through the corner. Again, Corey Carpenter down on the bottom side. The 51 of Alan Lewis to meet in between the sandwich of himself and Derek Justice, the number 31 machine. Now Corey Carpenter backs out of it, loses the position here momentarily.
It looks like that middle lane, as Jim said, you may see a little bit of that middle lane prevail there as you saw the 51 of Alan Lewis, that beautifully prepared Twitch machine, worked his way through the middle, got his way past Derek Justice. Just as we say that, they form back up in a 2-wide formation, the 31 sliding back to the outside. Brother Jason, that Bud Light Ford, he's starting to move forward as well. These guys are side by side all the way through this field, almost now a battle for second as Brandon Lawson, the 40, is snuck up high alongside the 166 of Blake McCandless. They're going to be side by side, Todd, about 4 or 5 rows deep as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here with this high group versus the bottom group. Almost like the McCandless machine running the middle part of the group, coming down into the corner, then he ducks it down to that yellow line. Some of these guys, there's 3 distinct grooves around the Michigan International Speedway here this evening. Great track to be racing on, as now the 40 of Brandon Lawson uses the high side to his advantage. He's able to get around the 166 of Blake McCandless. McCandless still right there, though, almost up to his door. They're trying to battle for that second spot. McCandless and Lawson side by side. Meanwhile, the 51 of Lewis and Derek Justice side by side. Corey Carpenter and Jason Justice side by side. So these guys really racing, as Taylor Morgan's about 2 truck lengths in ahead of these guys, really racing side by side. So Taylor's got to be looking in his mirror just saying, go ahead, race guys, and I'll lead some more laps.
And how impressed you got to be, Joe, by that 36 of Taylor Morgan's. These guys tooth and nail side by side behind him. He's got no pressure whatsoever. He's got that 36 just out front, all in that clean air, and that thing looks happy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, any guy you ask that is a decent racer that comes to Michigan will tell you that. You almost feel like, you know, you're the odd man out when you're out front leading this race, because you're at the mercy of what the pack behind you decides they want to do. If you're lucky to have a guy that wants to follow you down the straightaway, good for you. Otherwise, most of the time, these guys carry so much momentum off these corners, they want to take as many opportunities at trying to get around you and put themselves in the lead, and you're almost like a sitting duck out there. So for Taylor to be out there and, you know, pulling away from some of these guys that are in the draft and being able to push each other, you know, all the way down these straightaways, it's definitely impressive to see what he's doing.
Yeah, and just looking at these guys, Todd, working around for that third spot. The 31 of Derek Justice working the high lane. The 166, that, you know, orange and black Team Crush Blake McCandless machine working the inside. But what I'm paying attention the most to, the 16 of Jason Justice being able to peek through that middle. He was making up a little ground there. The 51 of Alan Lewis slid to the inside, pushed Jason back a spot, but I keep seeing the 16 peek to that middle line. I think we're going to get, as the tires burn off a little bit, the fuel starts to burn off, I think we're going to see some exciting racing. That middle lane, much like we see at a super speedway, is going to be a factor before the end of this night.
Yeah, definitely going to be a factor before the end of this night. Jason Justice has not led a lap so far, though, Phil, and it's interesting to see. He usually leads a lap here later on in the event. He's been as low as 22nd here this evening, so Jason not really pushing the issue here early on in the going, but look for him later on in the event. Jason's one of those guys that rally towards the end, and he's there usually towards the end of the race. He doesn't lead a lot of laps. If it's a tire conserving track, he's going to stay right there and figure out what these guys are doing.
No, absolutely. So as we keep an eye on what these guys are going on. Trying just to kind of go through the notes here is tons of great stuff provided to us from Jason Justice here tonight. Just looking up and down through these poll awards here, through all the awards here this evening. Looking at the Blog Dreams GFX Lap Leader Awards, talking about Jason not leading a lap. Taylor Morgans leads the series in the Blog Dreams Lap Leader Award with 7, and he leads all drivers with 600 laps led in this series this year, while Jason Justice hits second in laps led with 220. So think about that, guys. Jason Justice second in the, as far as a lap leader count. Taylor Morgan's led 600 laps in the series. Tells you the strength of that 36, the fast machine he's got. But Joe, I believe we're going to do our first full velocity maximum impact driver spotlight. So let's throw it down there. I believe you've got the 16 of Jason Justice.
Oh, Joe don't have it, but I indeed have it. Jason Justice in the number 16, currently running in that 6th position around the Speedway. Low is 22nd here this evening. High is 5th position. He's still, he's not the fastest car out there this evening. Again, we discussed that was Schildhouse. Has not led a lap, but his personal best lap of the race is a 39.781.
Impressive lap there by Jason Justice. Todd getting to play with the driver spotlight here tonight. Awesome feature for us here on the Full Velocity Network. Is you guys always have all these tricks of the trade down there. Pushing the envelope, the ultimate esport experience is the Full Velocity Network. Thank you out there, everybody in YouTube land, for watching us here this evening. Tremendous race we have on hand. This Fenton Machine Shop 160 here at the Michigan International Speedway. Race number 23 for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. 4 races remain, if you include tonight, as far as the regular season goes, before these guys set the grid for the Super Chase that happens here in a couple of weeks. And we'll have to update all those standings. It's going to take, the old NASCAR style, chase format. We'll see if we can't take a gander here at those Super Chase standings here. Joe, going to display them up on the screen. I got them pulled up here in front of me as well, so I can reference as well. Super Chase grid currently looks is going to come on your screen. Race winners this year: David Schildhouse with 4 wins, Brandon Lawson, Maverick Morrow with 3 wins, Jason Justice, Taylor Morgans, Matt Watkins with 2, Derek Justice, Justin Malillo, Corey Carper, David Day, all race winners this year. We'll update that later there, Todd, but issues on the racetrack. Big crash. Going to put us under the caution flag for the second time tonight. Did you see what happened there?
Yeah, big crash involving the number 4 GT Arizari. He got a little bit sideways. It collected Taylor Morgan's in a 36 machine. It also collected a couple other trucks here. I'm trying to see who else it collected, but I know it was a big wreck. I think Derek Justice was involved in it. There was quite a few trucks involved, and that's sad. Yeah, Derek, it looked like 3 trucks involved, but I thought it was going to be bigger than that there, Phil.
Yeah, certainly from where I was looking at, looked like a really, really big wreck. Looks like the 31 may, as you said, was involved. Tough to see if there was contact to start this wreck. Definitely happened around with the 4 of GT Arizari. Also the 36 of Taylor Morgan's, as we talked about, has led all these laps. I got a rocket ship out there. Looks like he may have got a little bit of pieceless as well. So we'll let Joe rewind it back, see what happened here on a full velocity replay. But the second caution flag of the night, 24 laps in, 80 the main event distance here tonight for these guys in the 711 Super Truck Series, putting Joe back to work, as he's doing such a phenomenal job down there in the control booth. Is all the bells and whistles, new features, and pushing it to the extremes here tonight on Full Velocity. And Joe, believe you're ready with another replay. I think you're going to wild with the show here, my friend.
Oh, I certainly do, guys. We're going to focus our attention on that number 4 of GT Arizari, as well as the number 36 of Taylor Morgan's, one guy that's been really fast all evening. Throw this thing in slow motion as they go down into turn 1 here. You'll see the camera angle flip around as they get into the corner. GT backs up the corner more than Taylor does. Taylor gets into the back bumper of the number 4 machine. That sends GT spinning down the hill. Good miss by the 51 of Alan Lewis. Nowhere for the 31 of Derek Justice to go, unfortunately. Also sends Taylor Morgan's hard into the wall. Very unfortunate. 3 really fast trucks so far through the first half of this race, guys, involved in this accident. And I'm pretty sure we heard that Derek Justice was also flipped. So we're going to rewind this back. we're going to go find and follow Derek Justice's truck because I'm kind of interested to see what happened to Derek. So let's rewind this back real quick. We're going to find Derek's truck here. I believe there's his truck, and we're going to slow-mo with Derek around here. Derek gets pancaked up into the wall there. Nothing he can really do. Spins off the wall trying to save it. Down it looks like into traffic. Oh, he actually grip rolls. So we have our first flip count of the evening, guys. Derek Justice just gets up into the grippy stuff up towards the wall up there and just ends up barrel rolling his truck over one time. So I think we can officially say our first official full velocity flip count of the evening belongs to that number 31 machine of Derek Justice. So back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, that tore up 3 really fast trucks there, too. You saw Derek upside down. Taylor Morgan's got a big piece. We know he was one of the most dominant trucks here through this first quarter of the race. Led a lot of laps. Also, the 4 of GT Irizarry involved. That's a truck number, the number 4, very near and dear to my heart. That 4 always spectacular looking. Tough to see GT all tore up, but 25 laps in a 80 there, Todd. 2 caution flags slowed to this event. It's taking all this fuel and pitch strategy right out of it, but these guys drafting all over this place. It's making for some spectacular pictures here tonight.
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking up and down through the field here, and a few guys have took 2 pit stops here. A lot of guys are only still on a one pit stop so far this evening. Schildhaus in at number 7, he's took 2 pit stops here this evening. Actually, I could be wrong now. Most of them, as it resets here, we have 2 and 3 pit stops. So Schildhaus has had 3 pit stops, Lawson 2, Blake McCandless has had 2 pit stops, Alan Lewis has had 2 pit stops. Another guy that had 3 pit stops, Dan Lavelle, in that 388 machine. So some of these guys on 3 pit stops and others on 2. I'm looking up and down just to see how many other guys have took more than 1 pit stop, or maybe even 1 pit stop for that matter. Most of them have took 2 pit stops, Phil. No one pit stop. It's 2 or 3 pit stops out there on the Speedway.
Yeah, you got to think, at any time you get an extended run of maybe 8 laps or so, thinking the fuel window here tonight, somewhere about 23 to 26 laps. So, you get 8 to 12 laps on it. I think we got about 15 on that run. So thinking about that, you burned up about half your fuel and tire run. So naturally you're going to come down pit road, get that thing full of fuel. I'm thinking, tire wear may not be much of a key, but you're under caution flag, nothing to lose. So you're thinking probably at least 4 tires as well. So why not? A lot of racing here left to go. Only 26 laps of 80 up on the board. So what better time under the caution flag? First time we came here this season with Michigan there, Todd, 1 caution flag. So you're thinking we're going to see a long green flag run. The longer and longer this race goes on, you think this will stretch out a little bit. So you got to think, why not come in now and get that thing full of fresh tires and full of fuel and, run it out till the next one, see what you can do with it.
You might as well. There's all kinds of different strategies you can play here this evening. You might as well just top off on that field. Try to stretch it a little bit further, like we're in lap 26 of 80 here so far. Getting ready to come up and get to completion of lap 27. Lights go out atop the pace vehicle coming down the front straightaway here. So we're going to go back to green flag racing here once again at the Michigan International Speedway, but a lot different. You have 2 different scenarios. The first race when they were here, Phil, 1 caution, like you said, so the strategies are a little bit different versus that first race.
Oh, it certainly will. It's going to just toss all those notes out the window here. It's still got a lot of racing here left to go, but want to thank you guys out there for all the support tonight. Anybody out there watching may want to get your league here live on Full Velocity Network. If you want to be part of the ultimate esport experience, head over to our all-new website, fullvelocitynetwork.com. Check out our broadcast rates. I think everybody out there will be pleased. NR 2003, iRacing, R-Factor, whatever kind of sim race you may be doing, any kind of gaming you're doing whatsoever. We don't call it the ultimate esport experience because we're going to stay in racing. We want to branch out to other branches of the world, see what everybody out there is doing. If you'd like to get what you're doing live on Full Velocity, head over to the website, fullvelocitynetwork.com. We'd love to showcase what you got going on, just like we got here tonight at the SRA 711 Super Truck Series, little NASCAR racing 2003, place we buttered our bread for so many years. And of course we spotlight this a little bit, but Todd, in a couple of weeks we're going to take our first trek with Full Velocity out to the iRacing world. So just to all those guys out there who may be watching, we're versatile. We'll go to any sim you guys want to show us out there. I can't wait to see what iRacing is going to do for us in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, definitely can't wait for iRacing either. I can't wait for some of these other sims to try to get us to broadcast. If you got anything out there that you want us to try to broadcast, we're up for it. I know we'll definitely indeed try it. Green flag back out on the Speedway, though. Michigan International Speedway. And it looks like Brandon Lawson in the top spot in the number 40 machine. Alan Lewis is in that second spot in that 51 as Blake McCandless drops back there into a battle for third with the 57 of Maverick Morrow. They're side by side for third, but Alan Lewis applying heavy pressure to the number 40 of Brandon Lawson. It's been a while since Alan Lewis has gone to the lead. He's trying to duck out of line, trying to get to the lead, trying to get himself in that spotlight, but here comes McCandless. He's looking back down low.
Yeah, looking down low. Don't think he's going to quite have the run there. McCandless going to have to surrender that position. Now under a fire from the 57 of Maverick Morrow. A great push from Jason Justin of the 16. But Todd, caution flag on the Speedway. Caution flag for the third time tonight. Not sure what happened there as things are starting to pick up front, but something definitely going amiss somewhere on the racetrack. Looks like the Bobby may be involved. The number 1 of Bobby Farrell, I see him pulling away slowly. Not sure if there was help out there or a solo spin. We'll let Joe tell that story. But for the third time tonight, we're under caution flag.
Yeah, definitely. This is not what we want to see here early on in the going. As we've had a lot of good green flag runs here. Now we're mired under caution once again. And it looked like there was contact made there, but we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna leave that to Joe. It looks like Malolo, the Bobby Farrell, the Bobby involved. Looks like the 81 man. He's been a pinball tonight, also involved in that. So tough break for those drivers. And maybe Joe will get some nice angles at that. And indeed, he's ready already down there in the control booth. Joe, take it away.
All right, guys, we are back here looking at our full velocity replay. We're going to focus our attention on the number 1 machine. That's Bobby Farrell. The number 53 machine of Justin Malillo. And later on in the screen, you'll see that number 81 machine come by as well. And we're going to focus our attention on him. So we're going to throw this thing in replay. Looks like Justin just gets a huge run through the center of the corner here. No room down there, really. He made his truck fit in there, but Bobby was down there. It was a great save initially by Bobby till he gets more up the hill. Continues to slide up the hill, and that's when the rear end of the number 1 machine goes around. Unfortunate bystanders, that number 81 machine, just nowhere for him to go. He was a sit and duck up there on the top. That one machine just came into the projectile path of him up on the top there, and the spin of Bobby is what ends up bringing out the caution through the middle of turns 3 and 4 as we see Bobby throw that thing in reverse all the way down pit road until he finally makes contact down here with the inside pit road wall. So unfortunate. It looks like just that number 53 machine, guys, got himself a huge run down there on the bottom. They ran out of room and the cars came together, and that sent them both up the hill, and Bobby's the unfortunate bystander that goes spinning down into the rest of the field down on pit road. So back up to you guys in the booth.
All right. So one thing I want to just kind of, bring our viewers up, just kind of a thought here. I'm going to ask Joe this question. I think a guy that can really answer this question. 3 caution flags, Joe, through the first 30 laps. A place like Michigan, you got these high speeds and high draft. Well, as these tires get a little bit colder and colder, Michigan typically you start off looser anyways on a good truck set like this. But thinking about how these tire temps may play a role as the temps go down here with these caution flag laps, is that going to make these things looser on a restart? Could we see more hiccups here as we get going here with another set of green flag racing?
Absolutely. The tire pressure and the tire pressures and temperatures are already started at a significantly low temperature because as you run and continue to put laps on tires at a track like Michigan, you're going to build a lot of heat in them and you're going to have a lot of tire wear. So in order to try and counteract that and try to make these tires last as long as they possibly can, you're going to set the pressures lower and you're going to try to set the tires at a cooler temperature to try and preserve them. So as these guys continue to ride around under caution, they go through many heat cycles on their tires, and as they stay cool, you're going to see a lot of treacherous, a lot of treacherous restarts here, especially for guys that are starting in first and even second gear, and the truck's going to be really loose, entering and going down into turns 1 and 2 as well. So those are definitely things to look for as these guys continue to go through different heat cycles, and if we can't get a long green flag running here, it makes these restarts very, very treacherous.
Oh, it certainly does that. So we'll just see what this field's going to do. Seeing a couple of trucks have ducked on and off pit road a few times here, including the 53 of Justin Malillo. He was involved in that caution flag. So I believe he may be taking a penalty back there on and off back to pit road. So lights still on atop the pace vehicle here. So it's going to be at least one more lap before we get to the green flag racing. But resetting the field here, 31 laps in. Brandon Lawson, our current race leader. Alan Lewis, Blake McCandless, Maverick Morrow, David Schildhouse up to the top 5. 6 through 10, we find Jason Justice, Jeffrey McClintock, Greg Lovell, Noah Hart. Noah Carmichael, he's rebounded from that one-lap penalty to start the race. He is currently 10th. 11th is JT Irizarry. Matt Watkins is 12th. Corey Carpenter 13th. Craig Meyer is 14th. Dan Lovell currently out there in the 15th spot. 16th is Derek Justice. Taylor Morgans is 17th. Tony Reiner 18th. Steve Looney 19th. Rick Johnson currently clocking in 20th. 21st is Grant Wesley. Kevin McAdams deep in the field 22nd. Corey Williams 23rd. Frank Divins is 24th. And Doug Lockrow clocks in the 25th position. 26th, we find Bobby Farrell. 27th is Justin Malello. Daniel Williams currently clocking in 28th. His truck is behind the wall. Looks like his night is done. And also the 86 of Jim Black. He is also behind the wall. 29 trucks took the green flag there, Todd. Now looking like the 81 of Tony Reiner had a great qualifying run. Looks like he's got some damage to that truck. That thing going behind the wall. Looks like his night may be done as well. So 26 of 29 trucks left on the racetrack as we approach the halfway mark. I think I lost Todd there for a brief second. No, he's doing some coordinating, producing behind the scenes. Him and Joe tweaking on some things, so we'll let them guys get all sorted out. Lights are out. The pace vehicle here. The field all doubled up in the backstretch as they head to turn number 3. Looking at that front row, the point leader of Brandon Lawson, the 51 of Alan Lewis, Blake McCandless, Maverick Morrow make up row 2. David Schildhouse, Jason Justice, row 3. What do you think we're going to see here over this next green flag run? Guys in the YouTube chat box, who do you think is going to be the half.com halfway leader? We're going to see that in about 7 or 8 laps from now, so we'll crown that award. We'll talk about who's won that award most frequently here in 2017 through these first 22 races. But the field working its way off of turn number 4. Pace vehicle making its way onto pit road there, Todd. We're going to turn this thing back over to green flag racing. What do you say?
Green flag getting ready to be put in the air here. Green flag is indeed in the air. Looking to launch the 51 of Alan Lewis. Got over the 40 of Brandon Lawson there momentarily. Looks like Lawson's going to be able to get it for the 51 of Alan Lewis. Going to back out of it a little bit. He's going to lose a couple of spots. That's informed to the 166 of Blake McCandless and the number 7 of David Schildhouse. Schildhouse now up to 3rd.
Schildhouse, so that number 7 machine up to 3rd. Remember, he won the spring race here at Michigan, so he knows his way to victory lane in this series. Leading the series, a 4-time winner this season. So if I can't pull up that, stat tracker here in a couple of seconds, showing you all the places he's won here in 2017. But the 7 machine now up to position number 3, side by side with Alan Lewis. That is a great battle headed toward turn number 1, but all chasing our point leader, the number 40 of Brandon Lawson. He is pacing this field, working the high lane into turn 1.
Yeah, Lawson indeed working the high line in that number 40 machine, trying to keep the 166 of Blake McCandless at bay there, trying to break a little bit of his momentum from the draft is the number 40 machine over the 166 of Blake McCandless, the 51 of Alan Lewis, trying to hold on to that 3rd spot, but David Schildhouse has other thoughts of that. He's down on the bottom working with the number 166 of McCandless, the 7 of David Schildhouse now into that 3rd spot. Here comes the 57 of Maverick Morrow down to the bottom side. He's trying to make quick work of the 51 of Alan Lewis. Here comes the number 7 machine of David Schildhouse once again, now making battle for that 2nd spot. What a run for David Schildhouse. He's up to 2nd.
Yeah, the 7 machine up to that 2nd spot. Does he have anything for our leader there, Brandon Lawson? We'll have to see. He's tucked himself there all by himself. McCandless going to fall back in line. Now looking like McCandless going to swing low, put the 66 down to the low side. They're going to race to the 2nd spot. Does McCandless have enough run? Schildhouse with that powerful move off the outside lane. Alan Lewis to 51, looks low, looks high. Who's he going to follow there, Todd? Looks like he'll follow Schildhouse. Put the 7 back up to 2nd. Now maybe the 51 up to the 3rd spot into turn 1.
Yeah, now here comes the 166 once again, trying to work on the bottom side, almost drifting up the track. Is McCandless, the 51 of Lewis, into that third spot. He's now setting his sights on Schildhaus. Schildhaus really, really quick in that number 7 machine. Like we said here earlier in the season, it was the 7 of David Schildhaus who visited victory lane, and he rattled off 3 victories in a row there in that number 7 machine. I believe he's got 4 wins here on the season. But here comes David Schildhaus now trying to track down the 40 of Brandon Lawson. That's about a car length and a half, truck length and a half. And the 7 of Schildhaus now trying to make some moves. Here comes the 51 of Alan Lewis way down to the bottom side. He's trying to make anything happen. The 51 machine, the 57 of Maverick Morrow now inside the top 5. He's in 4th.
Yeah, he's got that purple people leader machine up to that 4th spot. He is on the move. Thinking he may have made the run off the low side of turn 2, but he'll fall back in line. He'll think better of that. Guy's working single file into turn number 3. Top 4, top 5 all started out single file, looking almost single file there, Todd, all the way back to the better part of the top 10. Best battle on the racetrack looks to be around for that 9th position. Greg Lovell stuck down low in the 088. Corey Carpenter, he's got the 30 up high. That's racing for 9th into turn 1.
Yeah, definitely pretty good racing throughout the field. The 9th of Corey Carpenter, and 9th is Corey Carpenter in the number 30 machine. Meanwhile, Jason Justice getting around the number 17 machine of Jeffrey McClintock. McClintock now dropping back. Here comes Corey Carpenter down to the bottom side once again. He's trying to get around Jason Justice, and he's not going to be able to do so. There's Justice drifts up the track just a little bit, leaving the door wide open for Corey Carpenter.
Yeah, Carpenter to the low side, almost going to bring Greg Lovell, the 088, back into the fray. Put Carpenter now back up in front of Justice. I believe that's racing there for that 7th spot as McClintock has dropped back a little bit. Jeffrey McClintock now dropping all the way back outside the top 10. Good to see the 4 of GT Irizarry. He's starting to march forward a little bit. He picked up a little damage in an earlier skirmish, but he's working the low side. He's around the 088 of Greg Lovell. Put GT Irizarry now back to the top 10, currently 9th down the backstretch.
Yeah, currently 9th. I've been watching this other truck that's making his way up through the field here and making some moves. That's that 183 of Noah Hart. Noah Hart's made up some moves up through the field. He is running in that 6th position right now, Phil.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's been quiet all night. Started about mid-pack, but he's up to the top 6, and they're 3 wide. A little bit of door slapping there between the 40 of Lawson, the 51 of Lewis. Now Lawson kicked out of line. He's up to the outside wall. Had to have made contact there. These guys almost 3 and 4 wide racing through these corners there, Todd. We know Michigan is a wide racetrack, but 4 wide from the corner. Brandon Lawson getting fried that time. Out into the outside wall, he's going to drop many positions. Now a new race leader is going to emerge. That looks like the 7 of David Schildhaus has found his way up front.
Yeah, indeed, the 7 of David Schildhaus is up front, and he's going to get the half.com award here for leading the halfway point. That's the 7 of David Schildhaus, now completing lap 40. He's now on lap 41. Here comes the 51 of Alan Lewis to the lead now. He's able to get around the 7 of David Schildhaus. Schildhaus just trying to get that halfway award, I think. And the number 7 machine, now Alan Lewis to the lead.
Yeah, and anytime they pay the money out, you know David Schildhaus is definitely going to be there. But to the outside, the 51 of the G, Alan Lewis, going to peek out to the race lead into turn 3. Blake McCandless pushing on the outside, trying to get that 7 clear. The 7 now back to the low side. The 51 rather. Lewis back to the low side, keeping Schildhaus behind. Jason Justice going to fall back in line. That's racing for 4th. But side-by-side battle now is for that 5th position between Greg Lovell, the 088, Noah Hart, the 183. A dark horse, Todd, having a tremendous run. Now inside the top 5, but a battle. Here comes Lovell to the low side off of turn 2.
I'm still watching these battles up front there, Phil, as the number 7 of Schildhaus is under heavy pressure from the 51 of Alan Lewis and the 166 machine of Blake McCandless. Looks like the 183 of Noah Hart was hard into the outside wall there, Phil.
Oh, he certainly was, just as we talked about that battle for 5th. Looks like the Greg Lovell machine may have got a little bit loose. Looks like there was a little bit of tap there. The 183 of Noah Hart hard into the outside wall. He dropped many positions. Going to have some heavy damage now as caution flags on the Speedway. Caution now for the 4th time tonight, just past the halfway marker. And it was getting hot and hairy out there again, guys. We saw 2, 3, 4 wide racing through the corners. I think a tremendous break here, not only for Noah Hart, but also for Brandon Lawson there, Todd. He was up racing for the lead. He was drop kicked back all the way outside the top 15. He started to march back forward, but you got to assume he's going to be happy to come and fix some of that damage on the 40 and, probably happy to see this caution flag.
Yeah, definitely happy to see this caution flag. Lawson visiting the outside wall, and not the way he wanted to visit the outside wall. Not sure what brought out this yellow flag. Maybe a mysterious debris, the caution, maybe jack debris out there on the Speedway. Not sure. There might have been a truck around, but I can't find it, Phil. Maybe Joe's having a better time at it.
Well, Joe's got all the great cameras down there tonight. We'll have to see what happened there to put us under the caution flag. But, no, I did see somebody pointing in the wrong direction. Let's see if maybe, I bet Joe will find it before I do, but I did see something going on there. Looks like the 17 of Jeffrey McClintock may be involved. Looking like there was some good hard-nosed racing there, Joe. About mid-pack, it looks like, maybe a 3-wide scenario. The 17 looked like hard up on the outside wall, but show us the picture. Show us what happened. There's a lot of stuff to tell here.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and focus, just like you said, that number 17 machine of Jeffrey McClintock. Looks like he's getting a run down on that number 40 machine of Brandon Lawson here. We'll throw this in super slow-mo coming into turn 3. Trying to get a little bit of side draft there, it looks like, and Brandon's trying to come up so he can make the corner and get himself a good angle. Jeffrey checks up to gather his stuff up, and the 388 of Dan Lovell comes right up from behind Jeffrey and just flat-out pancakes the rear end of that Toyota Tundra up into the fence. He's going to pancake the rear end of that even further into the safer barrier. Slide up, slap the right side of that number 17 truck up into the wall. As he comes off the wall, continues to get loose coming down the hill, thinks he has it going in the right direction, starts getting loose, starts spinning. 37 machine gets out of the way. That's a huge miss. The number 23 machine, unfortunately, Corey Williams, just nowhere for Corey to go. He's unfortunately going to start spinning. The 9 of Frank Divins has nowhere to go. He runs into the right side door of the number 17 machine. So that wreck all started back going into turn 3, guys, and it escalated all the way through the middle of turns 3 and 4 there. So unfortunate for the number 17 of Jeffrey McClintock. Started off the year so strong, was our point leader for several weeks when we started out the year, and just unfortunate for the 17. He's been running around mid-pack all night trying to get himself up to the front, and that damage certainly isn't going to help matters. So back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, tough break for the 17 of Jeffrey McClintock. Comes in 8th in the overall standings, clutching on to, it looks like, the top position, of those non-winners as far as the Super Chase grid goes. Looking back at that Super Chase, I'll update it once again as we were unable to capture that, the last time we had the display up on the screen. So I don't know if Joe wants to put that up there once again for our viewers to look at. But looking at those guys, on the outside looking in, we recapped all the winners from this year. But looking, Jeffrey McClintock, 11th in this current Super Chase standings. 12th, Steve Looney. 13th, Frank Divins. 14th, Bobby Farrell. Grant Wesley, 15th. And the last driver locked into the Super Chase right now, the number 22 of Gary Piccolo. Not in the field tonight. No, he was out there in the chat box. 21 markers up on Jeff Gruber. Robert Balcom, 30 markers out. Scott Schroyer also outside the cut line. Colin Keister there. Just give you a glimpse of some of the names. I think the top name on the outside looking in as far as in the field tonight, maybe Blake McCandless, 21st in the current standings, 57 points outside this chase grid. But with some of these guys not here, Todd, making up the end of that Super Chase, and Blake having a strong run inside of a top 5 with 3 precious races left to go to make up that ground, a top 5 finish is certainly the way to go if you want to make this SRA 711 Super Truck Chase.
Yeah, definitely. You want to get as many good finishes as you can. And Blake McCandless having a good run here this evening. A lot of other trucks having some pretty good runs. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys are going to play out. If you can get a win and get yourself locked into that Super Chase, that's where you want to be.
No, it certainly is. We're going to have multiple more events of this series as we get to the balance of 2017. So we'll have to see where this series is going to go. Going to see a lot of great racing from these guys. Also, we got trips over to SMO Hardcore on the docket. We have trips over, of course, to FTF, the last 10 races of their season, live on a Sunday night. Cannot wait to get to FTF there in a couple of weeks. Also got a booking today from our friends at Hobo Racing. Going to see them next month in the month of September. Also, our next broadcast coming out of the gate, about 2 weeks on August the 13th, we make our first trek over to the All-Star Racing Group. A little bit of iRacing. I believe we're going to see a 3-race spectacular from these guys. Championship night in iRacing. I believe we're going to see 3 really good feature events. So a lot of great stuff left here to come. So many dates booked up. Reserve your date now. They are filling up fast in the months of August, September, October. A lot of dates here taken up, but if you'd like to get your date live on Full Velocity, head over to our website, fullvelocitynetwork.com, to book your date now. Great racing to come. Great racing here at Michigan here tonight here, Todd. I think we've been, puzzled by 4 caution flags at Michigan, but as we've talked about, anytime these, TV cameras come on, it kind of takes the intensity of this race up a little bit. You got to expect you're not going to see the caution-free run like the first race in the spring here, but been great racing nonetheless, and I think through these last 30-plus laps or so, it's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a barn burner. Let's see what's going to happen here. Like you said, almost about 30 laps to go here, and David Schildhaus with the lead. Like you said, he's going to win the 51. We're going to have to see what's going to happen with Alan Lewis. You got 16, Jason Justice. He's been inside the top 10 here all evening long. You got Blake McCandless, the 53, of Justin Malello. He was mired quite a ways back in that 53 machine. Now he finds himself in that 5th running position. Then you got the 088 of Lavelle. He's running in that 6th spot. So some different guys changing amongst the top 10 here as we get towards the end of this race, Phil.
Yeah, the complexion of this field will certainly change as the pace car going to pull its way in. David Schildhaus, Alan Lewis, Blake McCandless, Jason Justice, Justin Malello, Greg Lovell, Maverick Morrow, GT Irizarry, Rick Johnson, Craig Meyer make up their top 10. Green flag back in the air.
That green flag definitely back in the air. The 7 of Schildhaus way down on the bottom side as these guys fan out around Michigan here coming into turn number 1. McCandless way down on the bottom side. That 166 machine. Here comes Malello. He restarted 5th. He's already up to 3rd, maybe up to that 2nd spot as we come down the back straightaway.
Yeah, he may just be. He's got that number 53 black and yellow sprint machine on the move. Now 3 wide to turn number 3. Malello down low, Schildhaus high. Blake McCandless stuck in the sandwich there, 3 wide. Jason Justice trying to find the middle. A 3 wide scenario puts Malello to the lead, but 3 and almost 4 wide for 3rd on back off of turn 4.
Yeah, aggressive move by Justin Malello pays off. He's going to lead the lap in that 53 machine. 51 of Alan Lewis able to get around some of these guys. Where did Schildhaus go? Schildhaus dropped back about to 9th position after McCandless almost made contact there in that 3 wide situation. McCandless really had nowhere to go as Malello way down on the bottom side. Looks like he just tapped outside wall just a tad bit. Here comes the 51 of Alan Lewis down to the bottom. He's going to get around the 53 of Justin Malello into turn 3.
Yeah, going to make that pass for the lead. But looking just outside the top 5, Todd, one guy moving forward that's caught my attention, haven't talked a lot about all night. How about the run for the 93 of Rick Johnson, now well inside the top 10, side by side with Blake McCandless. Those guys racing back there for the 6th position. How about the run for Rick Johnson? Looking to make that move on McCandless. He's going to march forward. He may put the assault on Maverick Morrow racing around for that top 5 spot off of turn 2.
Oh, contact made, and it's Irizarry and McCandless around here. There was a 3 wide battle going on, and it was McCandless and GT Irizarry. Those guys both around. Does not look like they're going to touch anything, Phil, though. But that was a tough break. 3 wide situation there and 2 trucks around.
And you had to think something eventually had to give there. We saw these trucks, especially in the middle groove. They're really, really arrow sensitive in the middle, but not sure if the Ford didn't get a little bit loose and push up a little bit. It maybe was the reason for that contact. We'll let Joe have to tell that story with the Full Velocity replay, but it's just hard racing. You're seeing these guys making aggressive moves. We're getting toward the end of this race. Guys trying to put themselves in position. And unfortunately there, we saw the 4 of Irizarry round again, McCandless to 166 around. Almost a high-speed chess match here at Michigan. But as Joe's going to show us right now, things off, they happen pretty fast here in Michigan now, don't they, Joe?
Absolutely. Things happen real fast at Michigan. It's like in the blink of an eye, and you really got to have good hand-eye coordination to kind of miss what's going on. So we're going to focus our attention here. A little bit of an awkward camera angle. It's the best one I can get for us, but the 166 of Blake McCandless is in the middle there. The number 4 of GT Irizarry is on the bottom. And then we have the 7 of David Schildhaus on the top. So we're going to throw this thing in slow motion for you guys. Coming off of turn 2 here once we get past the RV view here. Blake comes down, or either the 4 comes up just a little bit, but either way, hard contact into the right, into the, the left rear quarter panel of the number 66 machine. That's going to send him spinning down to the inside there. And that's what's brought out the caution. So I believe it was just contact between those two trucks. I don't see any other contact from anybody else that would have caused any problems. So Blake should be able to put 4 fresh ones on. I don't think he made any contact with the inside wall here. I'm pretty sure he got it spun back around. Same thing for GT Irizarry, maybe a little bit of right front fender damage there. They can go down there and pull that out, put 4 fresh Goodyear Eagle tires on both of those trucks and get themselves back out there. A little bit deep in the field. They're going to have a little bit of ground to make up there once we get going back green, but if anybody can do it, those two guys definitely can do it. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Well, certainly 2 high-quality truck drivers there. Anything you put them in, those 2 guys are fast, and if anybody can wheel their way back to the field, put 4 fresh tires on it. Blake McCandless and GT Irizarry, Todd, we've seen them a lot over the years. Those 2 guys have won a lot of races. They're always fast. I'm pretty sure if there's no damage to those trucks, which they shouldn't have any, they'll put 4 tires on it, and those 2 will march back to the front in no time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll march to the front. Pretty good tire conservers. Long green flag run's going to benefit like Blake McCandless in that 166 machine. GT Irizarry, another guy that is pretty good, quick, but very good at saving tires, tire management. So if we get a good green flag run, I think that'll fall into their hands. Short runs, they have what it takes to get up on the wheel also. So we'll just have to wait and see how many guys they can pick off coming through this field. It's a strong field. It's very, very stout here at the Michigan International Speedway tonight.
Certainly is. So just looking at these guys coming on and off pit road, looking at these lap counters and looking back through our previous notes, the race that was held here on May 31st at Michigan, the one we talked about with 1 caution flag, Justin Malello almost pulled the victory off the victory lane. He stretched that fuel window, Todd, all the way out to about 26 laps. So looking at the board, 51 of 80 on the board, thinking with these caution flags and trucks, showing a lap down, you may see an extended yellow flag. If we get 1 more yellow, can anybody possibly stretch it from here, and make it and call this their last pit stop? What do you think? Are they going to have to come back in again, you think?
I think they're going to have to come back in again and make at least 1 more pit stop. And that is something that's going to lead us into something that we've got to do here. It's after halfway. Phil, we do our picks every broadcast at the Full Velocity Network. Tonight's pick, actually Joe Allen gets the pick here tonight. You're second in points. Joe Allen's going to get the pick. You're second, and then I'm third. So, Joe, you can take a pick away here tonight first.
Ooh, this is going to be difficult. There's been a lot of good trucks that have been up front. The 51 of Alan Lewis has been up there. David Schildhouse found his way up front. Maverick's been sneaking around there. You know what? I'm going to go with a familiar face. He already leads the series and wins this year. He's been strong all night. I consider him a close friend. He got the first win on Full Velocity Network. He was also one of the first interviews on Full Velocity Network. I'm going to go with the number 7 machine of David Schildhouse to win this race, guys.
How did I know that Joe would stick with his buddy, Mr. Schildhouse? It's a great pick, and frankly, if Joe didn't make that pick and steal that, I was probably going to take that one as well, but gotta go against the grain. Can't agree with them. So just for the sake of the game, if I gotta make my pick, looking up and down this field, I'm gonna go with a dark horse, if you will. And this one may surprise you guys a little bit. I'm looking at a truck currently outside the top 10, sneaking around. I think the 46er Kevin McAdams is gonna come pull this upset, guys. Todd, what do you think?
I'm looking through the field, and those are 2 good picks, and they've had some pretty good runs. But I'm going to look up and down this field, and I'm going to have to go with. I tell you what, it's a beautifully prepared truck here tonight, and I know who painted that truck, I believe. But I'm going to go with Alan Lewis in the 51. He's been up front all evening long. I'm going to go with Alan Lewis to win this race tonight.
All right, well, you got our picks here from the Full Velocity broadcast booth and down in the control room. I want to ask you guys out there in the YouTube chat box, we've got this game amongst the 3 of us picking, and we're going to keep our own points and we're going to challenge here through every one of our broadcasts. But you guys out there watching on YouTube, an engaging audience tonight, as you guys always are, giving us some great feedback on what we're doing here on FVN. Who do you guys think is going to go to victory lane here? They probably have the very outside of 1 more pit stop, maybe a gas and go left to make. So who do you guys think? Who is going to be the one to punch their ticket to victory lane? Joe went out there and picked David Schildhouse. That's a very popular pick. I went out against the grain. Kevin McAdams currently out there 16th. I really put my neck out for this one here tonight. But I think Kevin, being a super speedway ace in these truck physics here at Michigan, I think he's got a chance to pull forward. You know, Todd going with Alan Lewis, that's a great pick. Alan's had a tremendous run out there in the 51 here tonight. I want to see what you guys out there in YouTube land are thinking. So, guys, let those picks come in. I want to see what all these guys got to say here, Todd. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely going to be an awesome race here tonight to finish off this thing. And it's going to be quite the barn burner here. Going to have to figure out what's going to go on with these guys and see who's going to be able to pull off the victory here. It's going to be interesting there, Phil. Pace vehicle down on pit road. Get ready to go back to green flag racing. These guys getting ready to put that loud pedal down at Michigan. Green flag's in the air, and it looks like the 17 of McClintock spins his tires just a wee bit.
Yeah, a little bit, and there may be a little bit of precipitating damage from the 17, so we'll have to see here on the restart. Stacking them out up 3 wide. Jason Justice here, current race leader, as hit turn 1. McClintock stuck to the high lane. The battle is side by side for the 3rd spot. Lewis up high, the 51. How about the recovery for Brandon Lawson, the 40? He's back to the low side. Here comes, I believe that's Greg Lovell, the 088, the outside lane on the march as they hit turn 3.
Outside on the march here, see what's going to happen. Here comes David Schildhaus in that number 7 machine. He's right there behind Lewis in that number 51. Look at McClintock way up on the top side. They're 3 wide down the front straightaway. Once again, McClintock a little bit slower because he did stay out there on older tires. And look how much of an advantage these guys got on those fresh Goodyear Eagles there, Phil.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, in contact up there near the race lead. Looks like the 16, the 088 got together. Lovell goes around. Multiple trucks involved. Believe that might have been, couldn't tell. That looked like it may have been the 7 of Schildhaus also involved. A multiple truck tango off of turn number 2. Tough to tell what happened there, Todd. Was there contact between the Jason Justice machine and the 088 of Greg Lovell? That was racing up around the race lead. We've seen this here before at Michigan. It gets hot and heavy up front. Things can happen, and this one may have tore up some really, really fast race trucks.
Yeah, it looks like it has tore up some really, really fast race trucks. It looks like maybe David Schildhaus got lucky there as Greg Lovell made some contact, but Schildhaus able to keep it straight. It looked like there. So hopefully that's what happened, and Schildhaus kept it going. Indeed, for Joe's sake, because he did pick him here this evening. But I'm going to throw it down to Joe. He's ready with the replay. What happened, Joe?
All right, guys, we're going to focus our attention on the 088 machine of Greg Lovell, the number 16 machine of Jason Justice. Looks like Greg here in super slow-mo comes down into the corner, maybe gets hooked to that right rear bumper of Jason. A little bit of bumper grab here in the middle of the corner. That's going to shoot Greg up into the number 7 machine of David Schildhaus, unfortunately. Just nowhere for him to go. Just bad spot, bad timing. That gets Greg Lovell all bent out of shape, and he's going to end up spinning in front of the field. But miraculously, guys, I think these were the only 2 guys involved in the accident. Running in the top 5, both of them, and nobody hit them. So incredible to think that these guys were able to come out here and, not be hit by anybody else except for the 2 that were involved in the accident. So as I say that, looks like the 37 coming by barely misses him. Oh, a little bit of contact. All right, so 3 guys involved in this accident. It could have been a lot worse than it actually was, so hell of a job by the rest of the field being able to miss these guys. They should be able to be okay. Greg, not really any damage from what he had prior to this accident. David Schildhaus, probably a little bit of right side damage he'll have to have repaired, but they'll put 4 tires back on it and move on and move forward from here towards the end of the race. So back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, so we recap here. Pit road, a really, really busy place there. Todd with 57 laps of 80 on the board. You got to think, looking at the pit window, it's probably last pit stop for these guys from here, unless we get a little bit of extended green flag run. Tire wear, as we just saw, will play a factor here with the 17 of Jeffrey McClintock. We saw him out there on old tires. That gamble may have not paid off, so you got to think these guys down there, they're all getting full of fuel for one more last run to the checker. The question is, if we get a caution at about 10 laps, what do you think? Do you come in for tires or do you not?
That's all depends on your track position out there on the track, Phil. I think it all depends on who goes where. You have to really pay attention to your mirror, pay attention to see who's going to duck and dive, because those older tires may hurt you there in the long run. These guys got some grippy tires out there on the speedway. It's going to play havoc, even if you got 10 lap old tires. I don't think you're able to hold them off if you do that.
All right, so we recap here. Pit road, a really, really busy place there. Todd with 57 laps of 80 on the board. You got to think, looking at the pit window, it's probably last pit stop for these guys from here, unless we get a little bit of extended green flag run. Tire wear, as we just saw, will play a factor here with the 17 of Jeffrey McClintock. We saw him out there on old tires. That gamble may have not paid off, so you got to think these guys down there, they're all getting full of fuel for one more last run to the checker. The question is, if we get a caution at about 10 laps, what do you think? Do you come in for tires or do you not?
I think
Yeah, I have to wait and see what's going to happen here. But under caution flag, fifth time tonight, 57 laps into the 80 that make up the Fenton Machine Shop 160 here tonight at the Michigan International Speedway. Race number 23 for the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series. 4 races remaining if you include tonight before they make up the grid to crown the champion for the SRA 7-Eleven Super Truck Super Chase grid. Can't wait to see where this is going to go in the next couple of months as we have multiple more events with this series planned here through the balance of the season. A lot of great dates to come. A lot of great racing here left to go. Looking up at the front of this field there, Todd, maybe an interesting gamble here from the 36 of Taylor Morgan's. We know he was fast early. We know he, may have saved, a little bit, had a little bit of damage, but maybe rolling the dice here, getting back that valuable track position. How about the gamble for the 36 of Taylor Morgan's? Looks like he's going to restart as our race leader.
Yeah, Taylor Morgan's indeed going to start as our race leader. The 31 of Derek Justice, he's on the outside. You got the 51 of Alan Lewis. He's running in that third spot, so we're going to have to see what happens with these guys up front.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see here. His lights are still out. Lights are still on, rather, atop the pace vehicle, so we'll have to wait at least one more lap before we get under the green flag. So we're going to see if we were going to grab a driver here, Todd. Let's pick one. Who do you think we should talk to?
I tell you, we haven't talked a lot to look at Steve Looney. Looney has a good run going there in 4th position. Why don't you talk to Steve Looney? We haven't talked to him in a long time.
That's a great idea. Steve Looney, a fantastic guy, a great driver in his own right, having a solid season this far in this 7-Eleven Super Truck Series. Let's see if we can't talk to our buddy Steve Looney. Steve, it's Phil from the Full Velocity Network, buddy. You have a copy?
Yes, Phil.
Steve, having a tremendous run out there tonight. You've been kind of stuck outside the top 10. Playing a little bit of gamble here. We're going to restart, looks like, up in that top 5. Tell us about your truck, and do you have anything left that maybe go up there and, pull the upset and win this thing?
Nah, this thing's junk. I got caught up. Somebody lifted it at an odd spot there, lap 2, got into the wall because of that. It's been junk ever since, so I expect a few of these guys to get by me.
Well, it's been awesome racing out there nonetheless. I know what a damaged race truck. It's going to be really, really draft dependent there, Steve. Is that thing good enough to make moves in the draft? Can you stay with these guys? And if carnage were to happen, you got enough of a piece to stay with this pack and maybe dodge a wreck that may give you a good finish here?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a few cautions, maybe. That's about the only thing that's going to save me. Other than that, it's just damage control. Try to keep as many of them behind me as I can.
Well, buddy, we had to catch up with you, keep up with you on the standings here, having an awesome season. Currently got yourself locked into the Super Chase grid as we get closer to that. So great to talk to you again here, Steve. First time on the Full Velocity Network. Take a second to give a shout out to all your friends and your fans, your sponsors, whoever out there may be watching you this evening on FEN.
Well, thanks, Phil. I'll shout out to my buddies over at SMO, Jamie, Andy, and Brian, and Monty, and all them guys.
Well, absolutely. Couldn't say that enough. Well, Steve, thanks again for a couple of words, buddy. We'll let you get back to it, but keep that thing pointed in the right direction, buddy. I think you get a good finish coming if you keep that thing clean. Good luck to us tonight. Thanks again, bud.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Steve Looney out there, Todd, the 120. That was a good choice for interview. We don't talk to Steve nearly enough, and good to catch up with him. Steve, a great guy, real mild mannered as you can hear, but one of those guys, just a really, really clean and good race car driver. And unfortunately, a little bit tore up, but we'll see what he can do through these closing laps. Green flag back in the air.
Yeah, green flag back in the air. The 36 of Taylor Morgan's takes the advantage here with the 51 of Alan Lewis all over his rear bumper. Here comes the 166 machine of Blake McCandless. He's in the battle with the 31 of Derek Justice, but Justice gets loose in that number 31 machine. Here comes the 51 of Alan Lewis. He's back down to the bottom side by side with the 36 of Taylor Morgan's.
And Taylor Morgan's right there in the fray once again, as you said, now trying to work over the top side. Alan Lewis going to break away to the lead. Blake McCandless trying to move down low in that Crush-sponsored machine to the low side. The Pez Chevrolet, Taylor Morgan's up high, looking like a low side going to prevail here. McCandless with the push from the 88 of Craig Meyer. Where did Craig come from? He's all of a sudden a player here, Todd, with 20 laps to go as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, 20 laps to go. Craig Myers there. Here comes the 17 of Jeffrey McClintock. The 121, he said he had some damage to his truck. He's right in the fray still in the top 5 in that 121. That's Steve Looney. Looney's still having a good run. Here comes the 36 Taylor Morgans. He's trying to fight back on the high side. Meanwhile, back up front, the 51 of Alan Lewis trying to run away and hide. He's not able to do so far. And Blake McCandless right there, about a truck length and a half away from the 51 of Alan Lewis. Here comes 88 of Craig Meyer peeking to the high side. He's trying to get around McCandless. Also, look at the draft. The draft plays a key role. Here comes the 16 of Jason Justice. He's now inside the top 5.
Yeah, I've been riding along with that 16 of Jason Justice, just methodically picking his way through traffic, the high lane, the low side. You know, now Jason up to the high side alongside the Jeffrey McClintock machine, that number 17. That's going to be a side-by-side battle for 4th. We know that high side's been prevailing down these straightaways. No different here. Jason going to make the move. Now going to look to the low side of Craig Meyer. Put the 16 now on the march for 3rd, maybe for 2nd there, Todd, if he can work his way around the 66 of McCandless off of turn 4.
Not able to pull the 2 for deal through the corner. He's going to look down to the bottom side, down the front straightaway. The 16 of Jason Justice trying to get up alongside the 166 of Blake McCandless, not able to do so. Oh, it looks like Schildhaus down through a little bit there. Maybe just a little loose. I thought he was going down through the grass there with his evasive maneuver down to the bottom side. Schildhaus trying to make his way up through the pack with that number 7 machine.
Yeah, he certainly is. Also trying to move his way back forward. The 40 of Brandon Lawson now back to the top 5. He's trying to bring friend Maverick Morrow forward in the 57. Those guys trying to all stake claim here through this late run. 63 laps up on the board as they work their way off of turn number 3 and 4. All chasing the 51 of Alan Lewis. He's broken out to about a 2 truck length lead. But the draft plays such a role here in Michigan there, Todd. You're not going to break this draft and break away. Those guys behind are going to be chasing you down. Alan has that lead, but he's done a miracle. Jason Justice is there. Here comes the 40 of Brandon Lawson now up to 3rd. He may look for 2nd as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, trying to look for that 2nd spot. These guys are really pedaling around the Michigan International Speedway. What a run for all these drivers up through the field. Just trying to keep these guys until the 51 of Alan Lewis still leading, but the 16 of Jason Justice right there in 2nd. Here comes Brandon Lawson back down to the bottom side. He's trying to take over 2nd. David Schildhaus into the fray inside the top 5. Here comes the 57 of Maverick Morrow.
And Maverick right there in the outside lane trying to make something happen. Here comes the 7 of Schildhaus to the low side. He has help from teammate Justin Malillo right in tow in the 53. And those guys trying to march forward. Positions just on the top 10 throughout this field, Todd. They keep moving back and forth and back and forth. And I don't want you to look now. Look who's marched his way from 16th all the way up to the top 10. Now running in the 8th spot, the 46 of Kevin McAdams. He's been quiet all night long. He's starting to move his way forward there, Todd, just as one of us up here predicted he would.
Yeah, McAdams, no stranger to victory lane at a lot of speedways through the NASCAR 2003 community. McAdams trying to make his way up through, like you said, but he's doing a pretty good job about it in that 46 machine. Not used to seeing him in the 46, but doing a really good job. Malillo also coming up through the field in that bright yellow 53 sponsor, 53 the sprint sponsor machine there. He's making his way up through. He's peaking inside the top 5.
Yeah, he certainly is. One truck up against the wall. Looks like that's a lap machine. The 9 of Frank Divins going to drop 1 lap to the rear. Frank out there parading around in the 25th position. Looks like some damage to the 9 truck going to, really hamper his night. But looking back up front, these guys all chasing Alan Lewis. Brandon Lawson is there, looking back up and down this field. 2 by 2 by 2, about 4 rows deep down the front stretch. You're seeing Jason Justice there, David Schildhaus, Maverick Morrow, Blake McCandless. How about a sneaky assassin here, Todd? The number 15 of Matt Watkins. Have not talked about that 15 all night. We're getting down to the closing laps. Not a tire-conserving kind of race, not a gas saver, the races that Matt Watkins flourishes in. But coming down late in the going here, that 15 may be a player. He's up in the top 10. He's on the outside lane. I think that may be the way to be right now.
Yeah, it might be the way to be is now. It looks like the number 40 machine makes his way to the lead. He gets around the 51 of Alan Lewis, the 7 of David Schildhaus to 2nd. Here comes the 53 of Justin Malillo. He's all over the rear bumper. Same way with the 16 of Jason Justice. What a good battle here for the top 5.
Oh, it's tremendous racing here. These guys really putting on a show all over this 2-mile High Bank, Michigan International Raceway. Hope the guys at the Fenton Machine Shop are enjoying this one as much as we are. Them stepping up tonight with our race sponsorship. Thanks to Maverick Morrow for getting us on the air here tonight, bringing the Fenton Machine Shop out here. This 160-mile marathon around Michigan. These guys really putting it on. Great racing up front. It's three-wide battle now for about that fourth spot. McCandless to the low side. Malillo to the middle. Jason Justice up high. Here comes Kevin McAdams through the middle there. Todd sneaking up. That's racing for fifth down the front straightaway.
Yeah, McAdams, that 46 machine, is now up into the fifth spot. Here he comes back down to the bottom side by side with Justin Malillo. Slide job maneuver around Justin Malillo. Put McAdams to that fourth spot and then number 46.
Yeah, and I'm starting to like my pick a little bit, Joe Allen. I'm not sure how much you're able to watch that 46 coming through. That was an awesome move to the middle, and Kevin McAdams, we know he's a guy who excels in a super speedway type race, and Michigan in the trucks kind of plays like that. Any surprise at all to see that 46 coming forward and contending for this win late in the go, Joe?
Absolutely not. Kevin is definitely one of the better drivers out in this field, and this field is filled with a lot of star talented guys that are out there wheeling these trucks around the Michigan Speedway. I mean, Brandon Lawson is up there leading. David Schildhouse is up there. Alan Lewis, a longtime sim racer, is up there running. Justin Malillo, Blake McCandless, Jason Justice is up there. Maverick Morrow is up there. Matt Watkins is up there. I mean, just the names of the stars that are running in this field right now. You know, it's impressive for anybody to go out there and be successful, but for Kevin to go from deep in the field where he restarted to get up there running inside the top 5 here, coming down to just about 10 laps to go in this event, that's very impressive, and he's definitely showing, you know, that he's one of the stronger trucks out there and has a legitimate shot at going out there and trying to win this thing as we have about 9 laps to go now.
Yeah, absolutely right. 9 laps to go when we hit the line. Hope you're all enjoying this out there in YouTube lane here on the Full Velocity Network. The best of the best race here on Full Velocity, just as we're seeing here tonight with the guys at SRA, this 711 Super Truck Series. If you want to be a part of this great racing action, if you're looking at these pictures on the screen, the way this racing has been, why would you not want to be involved in such a great series here every Wednesday night following the NASCAR, you know, Monster Energy Cup Series schedule typically here for these guys. But if you'd like to be a part of this great series, check out the home base, simracingassociation.com, a great website dedicated to all 9 of the great leagues that make up the great Sim Racing Association banner. New leagues always being welcome in. Get a hold of any of the board members here to schedule your meeting and be a part. Any driver, if you're an SRA member or not, any league driver from any league out there, any sim at all. If you want to take your hand at this series, be a part of the best, just like we're showing here tonight on Full Velocity. Check them out, simracingassociation.com. An awesome series here, Todd. I noticed up here in the booth tonight, I'm itching to get out there and race with these guys. Look at the awesome racing action we're seeing all over Michigan tonight. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. GT Irizarry making some moves here later on, late in the going here in the number 4 machine. Look at him. He snuck into the fray here as they come down the front straightaway. It's David Schildhouse, Alan Lewis, Brandon Lawson. Nice battle for that 4th spot between the 166 of Blake McCandless and the 46 of Kevin McAdams. The 53 of Justin Malillo right there into the fray. Now a battle heating up there just a little bit for the lead. Lewis looked to the top shelf of the speedway, trying to get around the 7 of David Schildhouse. Not able to do so here through turns 1 and 2, but they're going down the back straightaway. Here comes Lawson to challenge for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, what an awesome race this is indeed. Lawson looking for second, has to pull back in line. The race now looking to heat up around that 4th and 5th spot. McCandless and McAdams, they were side by side. The 40 slipped the racetrack a little bit. That opened the door for the 4 of Irizarry. Now the 53 of Malillo is trying to fill that gap. Also Maverick Morrow, the inside, the 57. So McAdams starting to slip slide a little bit back as those tires wear off. But it's a drafting type of racetrack, Todd. You need a dance partner. Right now, McAdams stuck on the outside all by himself. But these guys starting to race once again, 2, almost 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Yeah, it was 3 wide. Blake McCandless down on the bottom side. They put the 40 of Brandon Lawson in a predicament as he tried to get around the 51 of Alan Lewis. Lawson backs out of it. He backpedals to that 4th spot. Here comes GT Irizarry once again. He's on the bottom of Justin Malillo. Brandon Lawson starting to slip back. He's all the way up on the top side of the speedway. Almost contact made between the 53 and the 40. And GT Irizarry now up to that 4th spot in the number 4.
Yeah, Irizarry with the great move to the low side. He's going to peek out and assert himself in front of that position. Move the 4 up to P4 through turns number 1 and 2. Great battle behind him now. McAdams found his way back to the low side. Malillo stuck up high. That's just racing for fifth here, Todd. Never mind the racing up front. David Schildhouse looking in his mirror with Alan Lewis and Blake McCandless just saying, you guys go ahead and race it out. We're going to like it up here up front in the clean air. But looking by these guys behind them now with less than 5 laps to go, business is about to pick up, partner.
Oh, business is going to pick up, and these guys all over the place. You're watching the 7 of Schildhouse. He drops down onto the apron. He's trying to break the draft for the 51 of Alan Lewis. Here comes Alan Lewis to the top side of the speedway. Alan Lewis now side by side. He's got help from the 166 of Blake McCandless, not able to do so. He leaves the door wide open for GT Irizarry. Irizarry side by side with the 166.
Looking right there at the 166 of McCandless trying to make something happen. These guys is trying to break the draft all they can through turns number 3 and 4 as they work their way through. Schildhouse now looking like he's got the lead. I'm just kind of, riding around, peeking at these guys around the top 5 there, Todd. These guys changing lanes, making their way forward. How much you think guys like Schildhouse and Alan Lewis are enjoying these guys, racing behind them? Is these guys going to race among themselves now, trying to break that runaway? The 51 of Lewis pulls to the outside. That may have been the great move to make right now. That's going to open the door for McCandless. They're side by side for second. Maybe a race for the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, maybe a race for the lead. Not going to do so here so far down the back straightaway. It's David Schildhouse with the lead. 51 of Alan Lewis still running in that second spot as McCandless is been fended off by the 51 of Alan Lewis. But I'm sure McCandless, if he gets another run, he's going to dive back down to the bottom side and try to get around the 51 of Alan Lewis. Oh, GTR is already sideways. He's into the wall. And he backs it into the wall in that number 4 machine.
And yellow flag is going to come out. 78 laps up on the board. And Todd, what is it time for? As we see in this SRA 711 Super Truck Series, we're going to have a green-white checkered finish. Going to see a little bit of overtime here tonight live on the Full Velocity Network. The great part about this series, I'll let Joe talk about it a little bit more here, afterwards. Is we're going to let him get set with the replay. But, a great thing about this series, Jason Justice, all the guys over here, Todd, they're going to make 3 attempts to make this race finish under the green flag. One of the great things about this series these guys do, who wants to see these races under the caution? Make every attempt we can to finish these things under green. These guys are going to do just that. And if this racing couldn't get any more exciting, green-white checker to finish it, strap in, man. This is going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a wild ride. It's going to be interesting. I'm telling you that. Are they going to come down on pit road and take those 4 fresh tires?
Well, that's a great question. I think the answer is going to be, well, they're all going to come on pit road. I'm thinking, maybe these guys thinking about overtime. Maybe they need a little bit of gas to maybe, make it through a bit of overtime. But I'm thinking, Todd, 4 tires. I think it's a smart move at this rate. I think you want all the grip you can. Let's see what our race leader, the champ David Schildhouse, does this time. The 7 going to pull down to his pit stall. Todd, I'm going to let you call the pit stop on the 7. What do you got?
I'm down here in the 7 pit stall as Joe's getting ready. It looks like left side tires went on the 7. Looks like they're going to go, or left side tires went on, right side tires went on. Left side tires now going on. 4 tires is the call for the 7 of David Schildhouse.
Looking like 4 tires for all the leaders on pit road, so I think that was a correct call to make. 4 tires to 7 going to win the race off of pit road, but we'll recap how these guys exit pit road. Let's see what happened there, Joe, to put us under the caution flag for the 6th time tonight. That was a wild wreck we got to show right there.
All right, guys, we're going to focus our attention real quick on the number 4 machine of GT Irizarry coming off of turn 4 here. Throw this thing in slow motion for you guys. As they come off the corner, he just doesn't shoot up the banking like Justin Malillo expects him to do. And what that does is it collects him in the left rear quarter panel, spins him out. Thought he may have had it saved here. He stayed in the gas and it started to continue to come around. And there's Maverick Morrow in the 57 machine, gets into him. That shoots the number 4 machine back up into the fence up here. The 15 of Matt Watkins gets hooked around in the rear back there by the 088 of Greg Lovell. So that's going to spin those guys down through the grass, and that was what brought out our caution. Multiple trucks actually involved in this accident. Unfortunately, GT was up there running in the top 5, and he was, he definitely had a shot at going out there and winning this thing, and probably being a dark horse pick for somebody out there in YouTube land to go and try and win this thing. But unfortunate for him, he's going to have to start really, really deep in the field now with this green-white checkered finish. But hey, 3 attempts at a green-white checker, and anything can happen, guys. He can come from the rear of the field to possibly win this thing if he gets enough chances to do it. So, back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, and just recapping These guys all going 4 tires onto pit road. David Schildhouse looks like winning the race off of pit road. Looks like he's going to restart with the lead. Blake McCandless, Maverick Morrow, Kevin McAdams, Brandon Lawson, your current top 5. Noah Carmichael 6th. Jason Justice is currently 7th. Rick Johnson 8th. Alan Lewis 9th. Matt Watkins is currently 10th. 11th, we find Craig Meyer. 12th is Greg Lovell. Jeffrey McClintock is 13th. Derek Justice, 14th. Taylor Morgan currently clocks in the 15th position. 16th, we find Steve Looney. 17th is Grant Wesley. 18th, Dan Lovell. Bobby Farrell is currently 19th. Corey Williams rounding out our top 20 in the number 23. 21st, we find Noah Hart. Justin Malello is 22nd. GT Irizarry is 23rd. Last driver on the lead lap. 24th, 1 lap down, we find Corey Carpenter. I believe he may be the lucky dog. This caution flag may put Corey back on the lead lap. 25th out of the race, we find Doug Blockrow behind the wall. Frank Givens also called it a night in the number 9 machine. Gearbox going out there. Also, Tony Reiner, he finished up 27th. Daniel Williams, 28th. And Jim Black finished up tonight. He was out real early, 29th. That's your 29 car full field rundown. Green, white checker, attempt number 1. About 29 starters, 24 left on the racetrack there, Todd. And I believe with a lucky dog, we're going to see all 24 drivers left on the lead lap. And this is about to get crazy. I believe we're going to see lights go out on the pace car this time around. What's going to happen up front, man? You have a whole group of hungry race car drivers out there. This race can be won from anywhere inside this top 20 right now, I got a feeling.
Well, it can be, and where do you want to be? Do you want to be up front? Do you want to be in the middle? I mean, I'd like to be in Schildhouse's position right now, up in the lead, and I can kind of control my own destiny. I got to nail the start, though. I don't want to spin those tires and allow these other guys to get 3 and 4 wide on me on the start. And I'm going to venture to say that it's going to go 3 wide. These guys are going to get crazy. They're going to get nuts, and they're going to go for this win on the Full Velocity Network.
Well, they certainly are. The field making its way off of turn number 2. Lights are out on the pace car, Joe. We're about ready to sprint to the checkered flag. I think we all agree this is going to get crazy. What do you got for predictions? Are we going to see, just this one overtime and finish under green? Or do you think, Joe, dare we say, are we going to see a second green-white checker overtime? What do you think?
Jason's not going to be very happy with me for saying it, but I think we're going to get all 3. These guys are going to be nuts on this restart, knowing that they have 3 attempts at it. It's been close racing the entire race anyways. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have 3 attempts done here by the end of this thing.
Nuts, he says. They're all going to go nuts out there. I think I'm going to agree with Joe. I don't think we're going to see 3 overtimes, Todd. I think we're going to see only 1. What do you think?
I'm hoping we're only going to see 1 because I think it'll be interesting to see these guys go green all the way. But it could happen. I'm going to go for 2. How about 2?
All right, we'll split the difference. Joe's saying all 3. Todd going to go 2. I'm saying this is it. I believe this is going to be the one right here, the money one. Pace car is in. David Schildhouse, Blake McCandless make up the front row. Maverick Morrow, Kevin McAdams, row 2. Todd, green flag is in the air. Green-white checker attempt, number 1.
Loud pedal is down, and the 17 of McClintock blows up in the middle of the field. Tough break for Jeffrey McClintock. Hopefully that does not bring out the yellow. That will bring into no caution yet. See if McClintock's blown motor is going to affect this race out front. Caution is out. We're going to go green-white checkered attempt, number 2.
Well, don't I look silly now calling for this is going to be the one? Can't predict somebody's going to blow up there midfield. Tough break there for Jeffrey McClintock, but these guys are going to race back to the start-finish line for precious track position through the next green-white checker attempt. Side by side down to the line. Schildhouse down low, McCandless up high. Who's it going to be at the line?
It looks like Schildhouse is going to nab him at the line there, Phil.
Now it looks like David Schildhouse will be scored as your leader. Blake McCandless, Maverick Morrow, Kevin McAdams, Brandon Lawson, your current top 5. But green-white checker attempt number 2 upcoming. The field wasn't quite through turns number 1 and 2. Tough break there for the 17. What was that, Jeffrey McClintock? I'm seeing the 88 of Craig Meyer may have been involved in something here, Todd. Did something happen there about mid-pack when that engine expired? Did you get a catch at it, or are we going to have something for Joe to see on the full velocity replay?
Oh, no, there was Craig Meyer. Looked like he went around by himself. And, yeah, there's a big wreck. Craig Meyer in the 51 of Alan Lewis. That's what I think brought out the yellow flag here, not initially for the 17 of McClintock blowing up. There was about 8 trucks involved in that one. Wesley involved, the 121 Looney. Looks like Taylor Morgan's in the 36. Some trucks heavily involved. Heavily damaged out of that one, Phil.
Yeah, heavy damage indeed. You know, Joe Allen called for 3 green-white checkered attempts. So what that means is we get these caution flags. We put Joe back to work down there in the full velocity replay booth down there. No, he's had his hands full for a little while here, thinking his work may have been done for the evening. But Joe, you called for 3. Well, now you're getting green-white checkered attempt number 2. So if you're right by your prediction, this may be your next to last replay. We're going to hope it's the last, but show us what you got.
Here I was thinking I had an easy out for this one, guys. I thought the caution might have been brought out by the 17's motor blowing up down the front stretch, but I was wrong. It happens. We're going to focus our attention on the 88 machine of Craig Meyer and that beautifully prepared tied Ford F-150, and I believe the 088 of Greg Lovell is down on the bottom there, and the 51 of Alan Lewis and that purple Twitch machine behind him. That's where we're going to focus our attention. So Craig goes down there to get into the corner, shoots back up the hill and just gets loose going into turn 1. I thought he may have had some help from the 51, but he didn't, and as that happens, Alan Lewis just unfortunate nosedives it into the fence. Looks like the 26 is in it, the 36 is in it, Steve Looney's back in it again, the 388 of Dan Lovell is back in it. So a lot of heavy hitters that were up front at one point were all involved in that wreck, and that's what happens with these green-white checkers. You get everybody mixed together, you get everybody close up. Some guys that are faster than others are starting around some slower guys that they may have not raced around all race, and that's what happened here. And Craig just a little bit loose going into turn 1 and collects about 6 or 7 trucks with him. So we'll get these cars wound back up, and we'll try to get this thing back under green for green-white checkered attempt number 2, guys. It's going to be exciting. Back up to you in the booth.
Yeah, and an unfortunate circumstance of this big caution flag. It put a lot of good trucks out of this event. You know, GT Arizari looking like with damage. I think he still may be on pit road, but all tore up in the 4 machine. Grant Wesley's night is done. Heavy damage. That 26 going off on the hook. Jeffy McClintock there. The clutch going out on the 17. That slowed up the rest of the field. You know, we see multiple trucks involved. Also behind the wall, looks like his night is done, is the 36 of Taylor Morgan. So just looking up and down pit road, looking at all these, you know, the carnage of all these tore up trucks in this last yellow, that's brought some heavy hitters behind the wall, but there's certainly a lot of heavy hitters left at the front of this field. You see the Schilthouse and McCandless show up front. Maverick Morrow is there. Kevin McAdams is there. Brandon Lawson, Jason Justice. How about the recovery and the run tonight for Noah Carmichael? Inside the top 10, currently 7th. Matt Watkins, you know, he's a cerebral assassin. He's up to position number 8. Rick Johnson, currently 9th. Greg Lovell's had an outstanding run tonight. He is currently in that 10th spot. We know the legend of Derek Justice. We know he's won, you know, feels like 100 races here live on our airwaves over the years. Derek currently on the outside of the top 10, currently in that 11th position. Justin Malello, fast race truck all night. He's outside the top 10. He is going to restart 12th, so there are fast trucks all up and down the field. Noah Hart had a great run. He's outside the top 10. Corey Carpenter, just to name a couple more back there. Alan Lewis with some severe damage here. He was fast all night long. Believe he may have been Todd's pick to win this thing. So the complexion of this race changed a little bit through the back half of the top 5, but you know, same song and dance do up through the front of this field. Cannot wait to see where green-white checker attempt number 2 is going to take us. Hopefully, we're going to see the lights go out atop the pace car this time around. The Fenton the Fenton Machine Shop 160 here tonight at the Michigan International Speedway. Thank you, everybody out there in YouTube land, for watching us here this evening. Hope you all are enjoying the show. A lot of great racing we've seen here on the airwaves tonight. Yes, we've been slowed by 7 caution flags. Racing we have seen through these first 84 laps here now as we head into overtime for the second time here tonight. A lot of great racing all over this 2-mile speedway. Something is your race leader. Can he hold on for one more lap? Here comes David Schildhouse on the outside, side by side for the lead into turn 3.
Yeah, side by side for the lead is number 7. The yellow flag's going to fly. Green-white checker attempt number 3 is coming your way once again.
Yep, Joe was correct as they race back to the start-finish line. We're going to see all 3 attempts at a green-white checker here tonight, live on the Full Velocity Network. Now, Maverick Morrow going to win the race back to the start-finish line that time. David Schildhouse, Brandon Lawson, Kevin McAdams, and Jason Justice, they're going to make up your top 5 there. But sometimes Joe's right, Todd. We're going to see another attempt at a green-white checkered finish. All right, so having a little bit of technical difficulty getting back with Todd here. A little bit of hiccups through these last 10 laps. So we got these things all worked out. Todd getting back with us. I know I've had my share of cutting in and out tonight, so I apologize for that. Joe, great job getting back going here live on the Full Velocity Network. You called. We're going to see, 3 attempts at a green-white checker. Well, you were predicting right, dude. You're going to get your second chance here. You can come back and show us the replay to show us what happened to put us under the caution flag this time around. But going to see at least one more restart. The next one is going to end the race. We're going to see a green. If the caution flag comes out, these guys will race back to the yellow and the white, or the yellow and checker, whatever scenario it may be. So, we'll have to see where this is going to go through these next closing laps as we get all sorted out. But Todd Stanton, it's been wild here. Seeing these guys race back to the caution flag. Imagine how this is going to get when these guys race back to a checkered flag if we see another caution flag. It's going to be wild regardless of how these guys finish. It's going to be a crazy finish.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a crazy finish. And you're looking up through here, and you said Maverick Morrow beat him to the line, but it was like .000. And it looks like David Schildhaus is now your current race leader in that number 7 machine as he's going to restart in the bottom. But one thing we did mess on the start was the 166 of Blake McCandless. He spun his tires and lost quite a few positions. McCandless dropped to 14th in the field. He restarted an outside pole, so tough break for Blake McCandless. See if he's going to make his way back up through the field here in this green-white checkered attempt. But again, David Schildhaus, Maverick Morrow, Brandon Lawson, Kevin McAdams, Jason Justice, that's your top 5. Noah Carmichael, Matt Watkins, Rick Johnson, Noah Hart, and Corey Carpenter, that's your top 10. Top 15 is Derek Justice, Corey Williams, Dan Lavelle, Blake McCandless, and Steve Looney running in that 15th spot. 16th is Bobby Farrell, Craig Meyer, Greg Lavelle, Justin Malone, and Alan Lewis. That's your top 20 that are left out there running on the lead lap. Then you got retired from the event, Taylor Morgans, Jeffrey McClintock with a clutch accident from Grant Wesley, GT Irizarry, 9 laps down. Doug Lockrow with the wheel. He was out. Frank Divens with his gearbox. Tony Reiner retired from the event. Daniel Williams, 58 laps down, and Jim Black. That rounds out your field. I'm going to throw it down to Joe Allen.
All right, guys. We were just rolling around here under caution. I'm not sure why Todd threw it down to me. Just apologize to our viewers for the brief loss of TV viewership there. That was something that we were not anticipating happening. Unfortunately, I will not have the replay for the second green-white checkered. I was coming in right as the accident happened, so I won't be able to go back and look at cameras for that. But we'll be able to hopefully stay live here for the last green-white checkered restart and see who we're going to crown ourselves our winner of tonight's race here at Michigan International Speedway. So we'll throw it back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, we'll get ready for a restart here. Lights are going to still be on the top, the pace car, so we're going to have it one more time around. No, Joe experiencing some rain out there in the Vegas area tonight. Definitely helping his connection. It's been raining up here in the northeast part of the country where both Todd and I have been all night long. So, been a trying night for us, but I hope you've all enjoyed the broadcast here tonight. One more attempt at a green-white checkered finish. It will be the last restart of the night. Guys in the YouTube chat box, what do you think we're going to see from here? You've seen 2 races back to the caution flag. Is it going to be Maverick Morrow? Is it going to be David Schildhaus, Brandon Lawson, Kevin McAdams, Jason Just? Who do you think is going to win this thing? Could be anywhere in the top 10 right now. It is going to be one wild, crazy, frantic finish here through these closing laps. Joe made the prediction. We're going to see 3 attempts here at a green-white checker. And sometimes, Joe's not usually right there, Todd, one of the smartest guys we know. But this time, and I know it's going to be hard to live with him here for a couple of weeks. He was right once again.
Yeah, and that seems to happen a little bit. And he could be right twice in one night. He could be actually right twice in one night there, Phil. It's a 7. He picked the David Schildhaus to win this, and now he's picked 3 green-white checkered. So he could be right twice in one night. We're going to be shamed for quite a while.
No, we certainly are, and I'm sure if he had his off-air communication all set up behind him, he would certainly be in my ear yelling at me right now. Sometimes the benefit of modern technology when you get these catastrophic events like that, sometimes lose communication down there to the control booth. So we have to take some alternative measures to communicate with each other down there. So Joe down there doing an awesome job with us on Full Velocity Network. I'm so blessed to be surrounded by the talent we got here. Joe with the phenomenal job he does, not only in the booth, but as a quality announcer as he is at the controls. Todd Stanton, the best of the best as far as color goes alongside, and it's a well-rounded machine the three of us make up on the Full Velocity Network. We really, truly believe this is the ultimate esport experience, bringing you a high-energy showcase like no other. Can't wait to see what's going to go, Todd. The lights are out atop the pace car, the field in the backstretch. Maverick Morrow, David Schildhouse make up the front row. Brandon Lawson, Kevin McAdams right there in row 2. How about Jason Justice? Can Noah Carmichael pull the upset? He's going to restart from outside of row number 3. It is anybody's race. It's going to be 2 laps to settle it. Green-white checker, Todd. Here we go. Strap in.
Yeah, green-white checkered number 3. This is the final green-white checkered attempt. I believe the next flag will end it here at the Michigan International Speedway, and we're about ready to get it on here at the Michigan International Speedway as a pace car. Takes a hard left-hand turn down to pit road, getting ready to put that loud pedal down for the final time here. Michigan International Speedway, we're going to wait and see. Oh, they spin the tires. It looks like Lawson in the 166. Both of those guys spun their tires on that restart. We do have racing back here. I believe the next flag is going to end this. You have David Schildhouse and the 57 of Morrow, the 40 of Lawson. What's going to happen here through these guys, through these top 3, top 4, maybe in top 5 guys?
Well, that was the final restart. They're going to be racing back to the white and the yellow. This race will be over at the line. They're going to race back through turn number 3. David Schildhouse has the lead over Maverick Morrow. Brandon Lawson is there. Kevin McAdams currently 4th. 5th is Jason Justice off at turn number 4. Yellow and white in the air. Todd unofficially called the winner. David Schildhouse going back-to-back at Michigan. Win number 5 on the season in the SRA 711 Super Truck Series.
Yeah, and I believe that's quite a few wins here. I'm not sure what's going to go on. We're hearing communications that they did not reach the start-finish line before that yellow flag came out. So they're not sure what's going to happen here. I believe in-race communications it might be Schildhouse winning this, but I don't think it's going to be, Phil. I think they're scurrying around to figure out what's going to happen. They did not reach the start-finish line before that last yellow came out. So they may have to restart and restack and repack and go at it again.
Yeah, race control having the conversation right now. The debate is, were these guys to the start-finish line to take the restart, or did these guys never get to the start-finish line as the race leaders to take the initial green flag? So discussion, going on amongst our race control. Are we going to see another restart, or is this the conclusion? We're going to have to see, to debate down there about, is there an overtime line? Is there not? The field in turn number 3 and 4, I was under the impression that, this was going to be the checkered and the yellow off of turn number 4, trying to get a word from race control to these guys as what this is going to be. The discussion going on about off air, was these guys back to the yellow flag, before they actually got the initial green? So a lot to work out here, Todd. I was under the impression this race is over, but I'm waiting for a word from race control here anytime.
Yeah, still waiting to see what's going to happen here with race control. See if it's over. I know there's a lot of different things going on out there, and the conversations going back and forth between race control. We're gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to listen in, Phil. It's anybody's guess right now what's gonna happen on the speedway. Are they going to go back to trying to race once again?
All right, so we're going to try to get the word from race control. These guys got a lot to sort of up there. I don't see the checkered flag being unfurled over the field, so these guys may reset and try one more attempt at a green-white checkered. Confirmed from race control. We're going to try one more time. The yellow flag was out before the race leaders got back to the start-finish line. We're going to restart once again. They're going to call this green-white checker attempt number 3. Unprecedented situation for us here on the Full Velocity Network. Something I've never seen with this series before, following it all season long. So, something new. These guys not back to the start-finish line there, Todd. Who wants to end these races under yellow? I think it's a great call by Jason, Derek, all the staff over here that put on this series. We're going to try to end this race under green and call this the official attempt at a 3rd green-white checker.
Yeah, green-white checkered attempt 3.1 here at the Michigan International Speedway. It looks like they're going to restack, repack, and go at it again. And that's I know the viewers want to see it. A lot of these guys want to see green to the finish and see what's going to happen. And if any of these other drivers can make it up, they'll have a fair enough shot at it. I think that's a great call of all the admins here for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. And now we're going to get to see a race once again for the YouTube chat box.
Yep, certainly is. I think we're going to be in for a great finish here. A lot of discussion between race control. I believe those guys may have made the right call. The green flag, unhurled over the field. These guys never got back to the official, start-finish line. So the call is that attempt was waved off. Maybe controversial there. We'll see. If David Schildhouse was to lose this race, this one could be surrounded by a lot of controversy. But I think these guys made a great, proper call. They never got back to the start-finish line. The attempt was never official. They tried to unhurl the green flag. They never got back to the start-finish line. So that's the ruling from race control. We don't make the rules. We just call the action as we see it and confirm from race control once again. Just to all our viewers out there, the green flag never was out before this field had incident on the racetrack. They never got back to the green flag. They're going to make one more attempt at it. So we reset, restack, repack, as Todd would say. One more attempt. Believe the lights are going to go out atop the pace car this time around. The excitement is building, Todd. Who's it going to be to end this thing?
I'm still rooting for my guy back there. He's quite a ways back there. It's Alan Lewis. Of course, I'm going to root for him. I picked him here this evening. I think I've gave him a lot of bad luck. Hopefully, maybe he can pick up into the top 10. I think it's going to be anybody inside the top 10 here, Philly. It could be anybody's race, but Schildhouse, it's his race to lose in that number 7 here. Is he going to be able to hold off Maverick Morrow? Is he going to be able to hold off Brandon Lawson? Kevin McAdams is running 4th. Your pick. Jason Justice is 5th. Those guys are all stout, all fast. Even the 15 of Matt Watkins quietly in that 6th spot.
Yeah, Matt Watkins said quietly now up to that 6th spot, marching his way forward, awaiting one more restart, waiting to, I don't think the lights went out that time around as I was clicking off screen. I mean, I don't know what more we can say, Joe. Anticipation, excitement is building. I don't know much more we can say up here. I can't wait to see where this next attempt at a green-white checker attempt is going to take us. Maybe a little bit of cloud of controversy there. They say that the field was not back from the start-finish line when the green flag came out. I know you've been around this situation with green-white checkers for a couple of years, Joe. And is that standard procedure if the attempt isn't official at the start-finish line? Is that waved off and almost a full reset happen?
That is correct. You worded that exactly how it should have been. When an attempt is made, if the leader does not cross the start-finish line before an accident occurs, whether it be a stack-up accident or spinning the tires, the restart is not considered an official restart. They'll stack them up. They'll try it again. So I was able to go back and look at that replay, and unfortunately we couldn't get it up here for you guys. We wanted to, but as the accident occurred in the rear of the field, the number 7 machine of David Schildhouse had not yet crossed the start-finish line. His front bumper hadn't even broken the plane of the start-finish line before guys were wrecking in the back behind him, therefore making it an invalid attempt at green-white checkered attempt number 3. So they'll stack him back up. Lights are out on top of the pace truck. We're going to try to get this thing finished under green here for green-white checkered attempt number 4, I guess is what we'll call it now. Back up to you guys.
Well, technically we'll call it number 4, but per the rule book here, and the rule book does state there right in black and white, if a green-white checkered attempt, incident happens before the start-finish line on the restart, that attempt will be invalidated. They will reset. They will do again. So great job to these guys in race control, following through as the rules are written and to be interpreted to this series. So to try to take the controversy out of it, that restart there was deemed invalid. The field restarting the way they were the last time they came back to the line, trying to reset the field the best way they can. It's a headache for race control when you think about all the things you got to do as far as getting guys back in positions, clearing of the black flags, whatnot, etc. A lot goes in behind the work, behind the scenes, but these guys doing a great job trying to be fair to everyone out there. And Todd, we get the lights out on top of the pace car, the field heading toward turn 3. 2 more treks around the Michigan International Speedway. I don't know what more to say. I can't wait to see how this is going to finish.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this is going to finish. These guys all look pretty hungry, and some of these guys getting their second try of what's going to happen is the number 7 of David Schildhouse. This is his race to win or lose here, and like I said, he might be a little mad if he don't come out winning this race with this green white checkered, but it is in the rule book here at the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series. Pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn. We're restacked. We're repacked. We're ready to go back to racing action. Green flags in the air for restart. Number and Maverick Morrow around, and there we go, guys spinning their tires. Did we get back to that line before the green flag fell?
Well, this one's going to be rather interesting now because, clearly he spun his tires, was up into the outside wall, yellow flag on the speedway. Question is now, were they to that, the start-finish line? Question is, they may run out of laps out of this thing, so we may be forced into coming to the conclusion here, guys. We've made, now it looks like almost 4 legit attempts at a green flag attempt, but they just may simply run out of laps here, Todd, before this thing is over.
Yeah, I think they're going to do so. It's a tough break. Maverick Morrow really lit up the tires in that 57 machine, and that could be the product of starting maybe in first gear, maybe the gear being a little low, tires being cold. There's a lot of different products that could cause.
Oh, it certainly can. Going to see how race control going to handle this one as well. Such a tough situation. I mean, these guys do such a great job trying to adhere to the rule book the best they can, trying to make this the most realistic, simulator for these guys to come out to. And these guys all been game to the challenge here tonight. The pace car pulling its way out to the racetrack. The field were very slow through turns number 1 and 2. So I think these guys are, trying to restack and repack. And, looks like, Todd, we may see an attempt here one more time at a green-white checker. So I believe the word from race control is they're going to try to squeeze another one in. So we'll have to see what these guys they're up to here. They look like they may have a sneaky plan going on.
Not sure what's going on here. Not sure what's going on here. They're trying. The race control is indeed trying trying to look to see what went on, and maybe they're going to have another green white checkered, maybe not. It depends on what's happening, so we're going to have to wait and see.
User disconnected from your channel.
I believe the word that Joe was ready for a replay. I'm trying to get that confirmed to him here as we're trying to work on our off-air communication. But Joe Allen, I'm going to throw it down to you. I believe you may have a replay ready for us.
Not completely yet, guys. Give me like a minute. Throw it to me in a minute. I'll get it up for you right now, and we'll show exactly what happened here and where the leader was in reference to where the start-finish line is. So throw it to me in about a minute. I'll get it up for you right now.
All right. Joe Allen at work down there in the booth. The issues on his end a little while ago, we've kind of lost our back channel communication, if you will, with Joe. So having to do this on the fly, kind of, a little off-style keyboard behind-the-scenes action here. So, messages being lost kind of in the wind, if you will, as we try to do our communication off-air to give you guys the best product we can give. But Todd, looks like this field is up to something. These guys stopping the racetrack. I think what they're trying to do, if I'm thinking, they're going to let the pace car pass them, not run laps up on the scoreboard. These guys are going to try to make a sneaky plan to try to get this clean attempt at a third green-white checker.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I've never seen this before, Phil. It's green-white checkers has been new to me. I was interested to see what's going to happen. But I'm going to throw it down to Joe Allen. Joe has the replay ready.
Yes, sir, guys. We are ready with our replay here. We're going to focus on the 57 of Maverick Morrow, where he spins the tires here down the front stretch. Throw this thing in slow-mo here. Maverick coming down. They take the green flag right about here. Switch to Maverick, spins the tires real bad right there, gets up into the outside wall, bounces off. Thought maybe he was going to try to keep it up there, but it turns out he came right back down in the middle of traffic. Heavy contact with Matt Watkins, the 83 and Noah Hart's in it. Derek Justice just can't seem to miss anybody tonight. He's involved in it. Matt Watkins spinning down through the front stretch. Look at the 51 and the 88 go through the middle of that accident, guys. So that is what brought out our caution. As you can see, when that first occurred, The leaders were nowhere near the start-finish line. Same thing as the previous restart. We're going to not count that as a restart because they had not crossed the plane of the start-finish line. We'll rack them up, and we'll try to do this one more time and see if we can get it fit in before the end of the scheduled distance that we have set up here. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right. Well, we're definitely through a good stage of overtime here. Almost 20 full laps of overtime, trying to give us 3 clean attempts at a green-white checker. These guys, having problems getting off the grid. Looks like these caution flags gobbled up a couple more cars. You saw Maverick Morrow, spin the tires, hard contact there. Definitely going to take the 57 out of a good finish. Also, Corey Carpenter, the number 30, he is behind the wall. Corey going to finish up a 20th position tonight. So these green-white checkers there, Todd, they've gobbled up about 6 or 7 race trucks, and it's tough to see. We hope to see a green-white checkered attempt here.
Yeah, hoping to see a green-white checkered attempt here. And I'm not sure. It's the number 16. It looks like maybe Jason Justice has been abducted by aliens here during this last green-white checkered attempt. Hopefully he can get back and join the field once again, that number 16 machine, and I believe he's going to be able to do so. And maybe reconnect. Tough break for Jason Justice.
Oh, certainly is tough break for the 16. Not sure what was going on there. The 16, was up to speed and then not up to speed. Not sure if there was contact to him here as the field was just kind of crawling at a snail's pace down the front straightaway. I believe these guys trying to wait on the pace vehicle, to try to give us all benefit of laps of a green-white checker. And this guy's trying a little trick to try to strep these laps out all they can, but we're going to see how this all plays out. Definitely something going on with the 16 of Jason Justice. I think something happening there, Todd. The motor may have went on the 16.
Yeah, it may have been 16. I'm not sure what's happening. What happened to Jason Justice in that 16 machine? That's a tough break for Jason. Something going amiss on that 16 machine.
So the pace car is in turn number 3 and 4. The lights are still on. I think these guys trying to trick the race server into extending this caution out a little bit. Not sure this is going to work. Unprecedented for us here on Full Velocity. Only a couple of shows into the relaunch and rebranding of the 3 of us going out there on our own and trying to craft this product. And right out of the gate, we see something I don't think any of us have ever seen before. These guys trying to stretch out 3 legit attempts at a green-white checker. Believe they may be close to running out of laps here. The pace car coming off of turn 4. I'm thinking the field's going to hope for the lights to go out this time around and see if maybe they can restart this thing. We're going to have to get the word from race control. What exactly is going on here is lights go out atop the pace car, so they're going to try one more attempt on green-white checker. Something I don't think any of us have ever seen before. Unprecedented. Definitely confusing. We'll try to get this all resorted out, but looks like we're going to make one more attempt at a restart.
Yeah, one more attempt at a restart. We have to wait and see who's going to win this race. I'm kind of confused how this all went on, and this is probably confused as what's going on with the pace truck driver. He's lapping the field here constantly, so we're going to have to see how this all shakes out and plays out. We're not going to have another attempt at the green-white checker. It looks like these guys are just spinning their tires, Phil, on the restart. They're just not able to get up to speed in the right direction. Maybe they're just jumping into a gear that they probably shouldn't be in a restart.
Well, an innovative idea by these guys tonight, trying to stretch this. Now, these guys, with the 3 green-white checkered attempts, I mean, guys, this is NASCAR Racing 2003 season we're playing. This game's 15 years old. Long before a green-white checkered scenario. So these guys, have a little trick they try to do to get 3 green-white checkered attempts in. They're about to run out of laps in the race server. I believe that was why they backed off the pace car, get ahead of them by a full lap or 2. So now that the truck going to pull in, we're going to get a green-white checkered attempt, the final of the night. This will confirm be the last restart, so it's going to be David Schildhouse, the 7, the 40 of Brandon Lawson alongside. Kevin McAdams is there. Rick Johnson now up to the outside of the second row. Who's it going to be, Todd, winning the green flag off of turn 4? Green flag in the air.
Green flag in the air, and it looks like everybody's going to make it spin their tires this time by. And look at Alan Lewis. He's up into the top 5 in that 51 machine after restarting 20th. Here, the green-white checkers have really helped that 51 machine. David Schildhouse, still your leader. Here comes the number 46 of McAdams. He's down to the bottom side of Lawson.
Yeah, he's right there to the low side of Lawson off of turn number 2. Outside, as we've seen all night long, getting that tremendous run down the backstretch. Can Lawson clear the 46? Contact. Lawson's going to go around. Caution flag on the Speedway. They're going to race back to the checkered flag off of turn number 4. It's up in the air. Wrecking now off of turn 4. McAdams around, Todd.
Yeah, McAdams looks like something went awry with the 46 machine. He went up into the number 93 of Johnson. Not sure what happened. Looks like Schildhaus going to take down the victory with Justin Malello and Alan Lewis. That was your top 3.
What, crazy, wild, unprecedented, unpredictable. Every adjective in the books. You can't describe it anymore. We've seen a little bit of it all here on the Full Velocity Network. You got to hand it to these guys in race control. You know, Jason Justice, the head admin in charge, all these guys, you know, trying to do the absolute best they can to be fair by their drivers, to give us a great product here tonight. You know, maybe the finish didn't go the way these guys wanted to as far as the product they're trying to give, but you got to applaud the effort. It was confusing to all of us, the channel communication with race control, trying to relay the message to all our viewers out there what was going on. Certainly a confusing night indeed here where the finish is going to go on, but what we can say, off of turn number 4, yellow flag and checkered flag in hand for the 5th time this year. It's going to be David Schildhaus going to go to victory lane. Justin Malello, don't know if anybody predicted he was going to end up on the outside of the, you know, of the front row here as far as coming to the start-finish line. He's going to finish up 2nd. Alan Lewis with a great recovery up to that 3rd spot, so he gets a podium finish. Noah Carmichael 4th, and Blake McCandless going to round out your top 5. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this in all the years we've been out in this community, Todd. That was crazy, confusing, wild. David Schildhaus at the end of the day goes to victory lane.
Yeah, definitely nice to see those guys go to victory lane. David Schildhaus, the 53, Justin Malello, and the 51 of Alan Lewis, the top 3 guys. Schildhaus deserved this one here tonight. He stayed out front and was able to manage it towards the end here. A few yellow flags happened here towards the end. A lot of green flag running towards the middle to the later portions of the event. So we had some good racing here this evening, and this track is really racy, this Michigan.
No, it certainly is. It certainly provided for some great pictures for us. Great racing indeed. You know, that the end was certainly, you know, marred by a lot of confusion there and some caution flags, but I think overall these guys can, you know, say they put a great race on. We'll have to, you know, catch up with these guys, see what they're thinking here. As normal, we'll try to catch up with our top 3 finishers. Schildhaus going into victory lane. You know, Justin Malello 2nd. I'm going to throw it down to Todd. I think Todd may have our 3rd place finisher, the G, Alan Lewis. Todd, down to you.
Yeah, indeed. I've caught up with the driver, the number 51, Alan Lewis. Alan, bringing home 3rd place. I picked you tonight. I'm sorry for the little bit of karma there towards the earlier part, but you made up for it. You came all the way back from 20th in those green-white checkers to bring it home 3rd here tonight. Tell us about your race.
Crazy. It's been a long time since I won a race, so and you guys know that. So that's the hardest I ever raced. David and Justin and everybody there. So got hooked on pit road and got wrecked on 1 green-white checker. Got wrecked on the 2nd green-white checker. The field wrecked on the 3rd green-white checker, and I don't know what happened on the 4th, and on the 5th one the hose opened up and to the front. So, but good win to David. Man, what a crazy deal that was, huh?
Yeah, definitely crazy. We were trying to figure up here in the booth what was going to go on with these green-white checkers, and we know that a lot of guys were spinning their tires there on the restarts. Is that a product of just the cold tires, or were they restarting in a gear they probably shouldn't have been restarting in?
It's a product of this race being broadcasted by one of the best sim racing networks out there right now. It's a product of the trucks at Michigan and cold tires. People were making really aggressive moves. I know I was laying back a little bit on certain restarts, trying to time it. It's really easy to time it here, so people were doing that and just spinning the tires, getting too much throttle. But I hate that it had to end like it did. But man, I don't know about y'all, but the first 50 or so laps or whatever is a blast to watch. We were 3-4 wide. You try to take your run and you side drafting people and blocking people. It was crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it was a fantastic run there, Alan. 3 and 4 wide, to say the least. You know, you were in the middle of a sandwich. You were up top. You were down at the bottom. Looked like the truck worked real well for you all over this track. And I'm going to give you the microphone, Alan. You can thank whoever you'd like to thank here this evening who got you here. Anybody out there watching YouTube land. I know there's some guys out there that were picking you to win this race tonight.
Yeah, well, I apologize to them. I got the worst luck ever. But this is the first time I've been interviewed in like 3 years, so I just got to thank my wife, my four-month-old son, and Rob Larkin for painting this sexy beast up. I look like Barney out there, but we're having a good time. And Joe and Phil and Todd, you guys do an excellent job at broadcasting, but what I like is you broadcast for the community, but you also participate in the community. You know, we got a great community over here at SRA, and we play all kinds of games, and then we race and have fun, and you guys make it enjoyable for us to be able to go back and rewatch the races. Or tonight, my wife had it on our 4K TV, 60-inch TV in the living room. That was freaking crazy. But, yeah, we just appreciate everything that you all do, and like I said, 3-unit and even Team Crush, I'd like to thank them as well.
Well, thanks again, Alan. Bringing home a third-place finish here tonight. Nothing to hold your head down about. That win's coming right around the corner there, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Again, Alan Lewis finishing third tonight. I'm going to throw it down, I believe, Phil, who is caught up with our second-place finisher tonight, the 53 of Justin Malillo.
Yeah, I have caught up with the driver of that sprint machine, the 53 of Justin Malillo. Justin, in all the years we've all been sim racing, man, have you seen a finish in something as crazy and strange as we saw here tonight?
I'm at a loss for words just on what happened all night. It was definitely like a full moon was out. I really can't explain anything.
I think we all tried to do our best with the situation at hand there, just trying to communicate, through the broadcast with race control, what's going on, trying to get a hold of any of the drivers, give us a clue. Well, that last restart was certainly peculiar, but the green flag racing you guys put out here, Justin, it was absolutely intense tonight. 2, 3, sometimes 4 wide racing action. It had to be awesome out there from behind the wheel. I know up in the booth, we were all itching to get out there. Tell our viewers out there just how this was.
Well, not for nothing. I mean, when we were green flag racing, it was intense. Like you just said, I don't think I've had more fun racing a track and setup combination this year. Besides this, they really hats off to Jason, Derek, and everybody who threw all this together. I think they said Matt Watkins had something to do with the setup too. So hats off to all those guys for getting this perfect. It was just absolutely perfect tonight when we were green flag racing.
Well, Justin, congratulations bringing that thing home in a second-place run. I mean, it had an up-and-down kind of night, but I think night end, you're going to be happy with that second-place run. So I'm going to give you the microphone one more time. Give a shout-out to your friends, the fans, the sponsors. I know a lot of guys that were responsible for getting you out here tonight. So the floor is all yours, my friend.
Well, we'll see if that second place sticks. I know that, I had a couple run-ins with people on the track today, none of which I thought were my fault between, the lap 28 and lap 77 and lap 87. So, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen there. But the FTF admin streak is alive once again. David Schildhouse back in victory lane. I know that's not going to be under any scrutiny at all. So, congrats to David. Awesome to get the FTF admin streak going again. Thank you to you guys for everything you do. Thank you to the SRA. Thank you to Full Velocity Network. And thanks, everybody, for watching.
All right, man. Well, I know we're going to see a lot of you at FTF here in the next couple of months. So, Justin, once again, congratulations, second place run. We'll hope that sticks for you. And as always, man, great with the insight. So good to talk to you, and I'm sure we'll do this again soon, bud. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Justin Malillo going to finish up tonight. Unofficially here in the second spot, but one we know certainly not unofficial here. I think it's safe to say the champ is arriving in victory lane again. Joe Allen for the 5th time this year. Guys got a little Vegas party going on down there in victory lane.
It just seems like me and David Schildhouse spend every waking second together. That's what it's felt like over the last month and a half or so. Every time I look down here in victory lane, I see you down here partying up like you're still living in Vegas. So I have to come join the party, David. I mean, you know how it goes.
Yeah, they say keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, but you're a friend of mine, no enemy. But man, what a night, guys. I don't know what it looked like up there in the broadcast booth, but I can tell you from the driver's seat, holy cow.
Well, David, we were all up there anxious to get out onto the racetrack. Now, obviously, you have the credentials to go out there and call yourself a champ. Some of us can't do that just quite yet, but you were out there wheeling it. Let me tell you, you were 3 wide, 2 wide, running the top side, running the bottom. How did you manage to nail those last 5 restarts at the end of the race on cold tires? I know you spun them a bunch on the 5th one, but got going a lot better than Alan and Kevin McAdams did, and you were just able to get out there and hold on to it and run them back down to the checkered flag and take it. Tell us how those last 5 restarts were. It looked crazy and confusing and intense up here in the booth, and I'm sure it was just as crazy and intense as confusing down in the driver's seat for you as well.
Yeah, it it reminded me a lot of the race that we ran at Indy, and I had to survive a lot of restarts throughout that race up front. Had to do 3 green-white checkers, and really it just came down to sticking with that experience, knowing what to expect, but with a little bit of unknown when it comes to the way the tires were. They were cold, they would spin if you nailed the gas, and it took a lot of finesse to get the truck moving in a straight direction. And especially on that last restart, as you said, it was all over the place, but I was able to keep it under me. And it's a desire to win. It's understanding that everyone else is struggling too, and not overextending yourself or going beyond the ability of the truck. And just letting the truck work with you. And I know that's a little bit of a sellout answer, if you will, but really it's just crazy, but you got to do what you got to do. And that's probably some of the hardest driving I've ever had to do to earn a win, especially on 5 restarts. That was nuts, but man, what a blast. I had fun the whole night. It was just a lot of fun, passing a lot of trucks. High side, low side, just going through the field a couple times. But that's the SRA 711 Truck Series in a nutshell. And there's a lot of talent, a lot of guys with speed, a lot of guys with skill, and it's really a lot of fun to race around them.
Well, I'm sure it was really fun down there in the driver's seat, and I'll tell you what, it made for really good TV up here that was being broadcast to all of our viewers. I mean, the action that was all up and down the entire field, from the racing out front to the 3 and 4 wide battles we saw in the middle of the field, and even the guys that were running out towards the back. I mean, it was good racing all over. And by the way, just want to throw this out there because I know that you would have given me a lot of crap for it if I hadn't done it. You were my pick to win this evening's race, so I get a little bit of credit, I think, for you going out there and being a wheelman tonight.
Well, I mean, as a guy that lives in Las Vegas, you understand you got to sometimes play the odds, and sometimes you got to play the favorite. Not saying I'm the favorite. I'm not going that way, but I'm sure I had decent odds if Vegas was betting this thing. And excuse me. So, I'm glad you picked me. I appreciate that. Shame on anyone who didn't. Those guys like Phil and Todd, but we won't talk about it. And it's just fun to go out and get another win in this series. Really appreciate the effort. The guys that run the series, Derek Justice and Jason Justice and everyone else involved, they didn't have an easy task on their hands trying to decide what to do at the end there, and I didn't envy their position. Very selfishly, I wanted the race to be over when we didn't get the 3rd green-white checker done quite right, but they got a league to run, they got a show to put on, and there were a lot of people watching out there on the Full Velocity Network that wanted to see a finish and deserved to see a good finish. And for those that stuck around, thank you. I hope it was worth it. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. And that's 2 wins now that you guys have seen here in the SRA 711 Super Truck Series for the 7 trucks. So big shout out to Samsung for coming on board and sponsoring us. And gosh, it feels great to win on the FVN.
As always, David, one of the classiest interviews we get to conduct down here in Victory Lane, and I consider you a really good friend now, and congratulations as always. I'm happy for you, but I'm going to hand the mic over to you one more time. We'll open it up for you. I know you got a lot of friends and family and everybody else that you want to thank that helped get you here. So the mic's all yours, buddy, for one last time here on FVN.
Thanks, Joe. Just again, a big thanks to everyone at the SRA. Without it, this wouldn't be possible. Big thanks to the admins of the series here. Big shout out to Vass House Racing, my sponsor Samsung, for coming on board with this Ford F-150 being so fast tonight. Everyone out there on the Full Velocity Network watching out on YouTube, hello, and thank you for your support. And the biggest shout out to all goes out to everyone out in Shieldhouse Nation in my stream on Twitch. If you're not following Shieldhouse Nation, get on board. We have a lot of fun in these streams. It's a great community, the best community out there. Super interactive, and just a lot of support throughout that entire community. So I appreciate that from everyone that comes out to support me. Thank you to everyone, and I can't wait to get out and do it again. So come on out, support it, participate, twitch.tv/DJ Shieldhouse. And that's all I got to say, man. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to go party it up like it's 1999.
Well, Guys, that's our race winner, David Schildhouse. Always a classy and fun interview down here in Victory Lane, our full velocity Victory Lane. And that about sums it up. He was partying. He was happy. I know we got a couple special guests we're going to bring in here that we're running some special paint jobs tonight. So, Phil, I think you've been talking to them behind the scenes a little bit. I'm going to throw it back to you. I know you got Brandon Lawson and Noah Carmichael up there that have joined you guys up in the booth here, still in their fire suits, still sweating their butts off, but they have a little bit of a message that they want to get out to all of our viewers.
Well, absolutely right. I'm going to let you go down there, enjoy a cold beer in Victory Lane. Great job down there tonight. But joined up here in the booth before we go off the air by our friends Noah Carmichael, Brandon Lawson, and Noah, I'm going to come to you first. You guys out there tonight with these awesome paint schemes. Blue Lives Matter, paying tribute to all our fallen officers out there that we may have lost here so far in 2017. That number is way too high, but give us a little bit of insight about those paint schemes. I know you guys had a lot poured into it, and I believe you even had names of fallen officers on there. What a great touch. That's an awesome job, man.
Thank you very much. It really meant a lot to me running this truck. I saw a video, and it was about a video of these fallen officers, and it showed all the things they go through, and I felt so terrible for them. I mean, in this day and age, they get treated like dirt by some people, and it's sad to see with all the stuff they go through and all the stuff they protect us with. And I felt it was necessary to give these guys a little bit of appreciation for what they do for us, going into these dangerous cities and towns, protecting us at night, making sure that we stay safe, and keeping the more dangerous people off the streets. So on the back of that trunk lid, we had a list of all the fallen officers with their ranks, and on the bottom of it, we had the canine officers that also died. And sadly, we couldn't get it more updated. I planned on running this truck at Indianapolis, but I had prior commitments that prevented me from running that race, and we decided, me and Brandon, who I was so happy to agree to come and help me with this, we decided we want to do this for one of your guys' races so that we could get this out there, and we decided Michigan was the best time. So we didn't have all the names on there, but the message still sends out there that we appreciate all they do and all the sacrifice that they gave for us to keep us safe. And in all in all, it was just a really cool thing to do, and to finish P4 and have Brandon be running up there the whole night and having all the airtime with these trucks really meant a lot to me, and I really loved seeing it on this Full Velocity Network. It was a really good sight to see, seeing those trucks run up front all night.
Well, they were certainly beautiful trucks. And Brandon, I got to say, you had a great run going, but talk about the paint scheme. I'm sure you wear that like a badge of honor tonight, representing, all our fallen officers. Blue Lives Matter. What a beautiful paint job, man. And I'm sure it means a lot to all of us, but it's got to be really, really special to you, particularly to run a paint scheme like that and honor those guys that have fallen serving us.
Yeah, it was really a fun experience. I enjoyed it. I know me and Noel were talking one day, and Noel sent me a scheme that he was going to run for Indianapolis, and I said, "Hey, man, that's pretty cool." And he invited me to run it with them, and I said I'd love to. It feels good to give a tribute to the people that protect our communities, or cities, or counties, and the United States, pretty much, and help us make sure that we can get around and not have to be worried about things around the world that they have to worry about. And it's really interesting being able to run a scheme like this, especially like you were saying, running up front and being able to express it out to a community that I'm sure respects their officers. And even having the fallen officers on the back of the truck tonight was really special. Giving tribute to those officers that have fallen for us to make sure that we're safe. And it was really interesting night, and I enjoyed representing that scheme. It was like a real badge of honor to have on the car or on the truck tonight, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, Noah, Brandon, thanks again for doing that. I'm glad we got to display a lot of that here on the airwaves tonight, and appreciate you guys taking some time in the post race. Wish we knew about, the meaning of these paint schemes a little bit sooner. I know I saw them beforehand and knew there had to be something underlying to them. So at least you got here in the booth, we got to tell the story. So guys, appreciate the time, and great race by both of you guys tonight. Congratulations on a good run, and I'm sure we'll talk to you both here again real soon. Thanks for dropping in, guys.
Thank you very much. It means a lot that you guys are able to let us in here at the last minute before the stream ends. It really means a lot to me to get this message out.
Absolutely. Well, Brandon Lawson, Noah Carmichael, great job carrying that message. And just one of the great things this community does here, Todd, as we wrap up for the night. We talk about just the guys in this community, so many quality people, and to just go out of their way, do something like that and raise awareness to a great cause. Hats off to those guys, and great race by all these guys here tonight.
Definitely a great race here tonight. It lived up to its billing. The 7-Eleven Super Truck Series always does here on the Full Velocity Network, Phil. Fantastic event.
Certainly was. Well, next up for us on August the 13th, a Sunday night, we pay a visit to the All-Star Racing Group, the very first trip for Full Velocity Network over to the iRacing world. We're going to see 3 great feature events, some dirt late models, some 305 sprint cars, some Legends cars. Going to have all the action here. So pay attention to our social media outlets, the website, fullvelocitynetwork.com, and we'll get all those links out there. So that's coming up next. Also visits to Extreme Motorsports Championship Night for the Super Speedway Series on August the 24th. So lots of great things to us. Head over to the website, fullvelocity.com, for the full schedule. So behalf of Todd Stanton alongside, for a great job as always, Joe Allen doing an awesome job showing the talent that he has to do what we do here. You know, every week we get out here on the Full Velocity Network. Joe, hats off. Great job. Everything we had to work through tonight. My name is Phil LaCasse. Thank you for everybody out there for all the support in YouTube land throughout this entire sim racing community as we bring you the ultimate esport experience right here on the Full Velocity Network. Good night. We'll see you next time.